What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 7TR Chapter 121. The formidable Mount Myoboku 3 tails was sent, and of course Mizuki accepted everyone who came. Now that we have started to collect tailed beasts, we might as well collect them all. Not one of the 9 tailed beasts can be missed. This is not obsessive-compulsive disorder. In the sky above Fenghuang village, another meteorite appeared again. 5 pills already, it's very comfortable to look at. 2 tails, 5 tails, 6 tails and 8 tails left. 2 tails Matabi and 8 tails Gyuki are in Cloud Shinobi village in the land of thunder. 5 tails Kakuo is in Rock Shinobi village in the land of earth. 6 tails Seiken belongs to Kirigakure in the land of water, but 6 tails Jinchuriki Yugo Seiken defected and traveled in the ninja world. If you want to get these tailed beasts, you will definitely offend the country behind them, but Mizuki doesn't care. Since we plan to unify the ninja world, we cannot use peaceful methods. War is inevitable. Let's do it step by step. Now, let's teach those toads on Mount Myoboku a lesson first. If you dare to try against me, I will make you walk around without food. He quietly came to the entrance of Mount Myoboku, separated 9 shadow clone, and jumped into the lotus pond. The old toad on Mount Myoboku is too strong, so the main body must not enter. It is also possible to send shadow clone to carry out attacks. This time, play a big one. 6 paths. Yin-Yang Rasengan, I haven't used it since I got it. Try something new with Mount Myoboku today. 6 paths level Ninjutsu, and Rasengan, is definitely more powerful than Sage Art. Wind style. The damage caused by the Rasen Shuriken was enough to make Gamamaru feel distressed. Moreover, 9 shadow clone, 9 6 paths. Yin and Yang Rasengan, Gamaru is 9 times more distressed. Although there were side effects to using this technique, Mizuki couldn't care less. When he thought about how he almost died on Mount Myoboku, the killing intent surged in his heart. As soon as the shadow clone entered Mount Myoboku, Gamamaru noticed it. After Mizuki escaped, the old toad became restless and did not dare to sleep again. Instead, it kept its senses turned on to prevent Mizuki from causing trouble. Humph, you really dare to come. Gamamaru's face turned cold, and he breathed out the immortal energy from his mouth, turning into 9 huge but invisible shurikens, and flew out of the temple gate. After Mizuki's 9 shadow clone entered Mount Myoboku, they immediately used the Flying Thunder God technique to disperse. Before, Mizuki came in to find Naruto and walked around Mount Myoboku, laying out the Flying Thunder God technique along the way. 9 shadow clone, located in 9 directions. The shadow clone all raised their hands, and the black and white chakra gathered in their palms. In the temple, Gamamaru's expression changed. This is 6 paths level power? Mizuki has clearly not reached 6 paths level yet, how can he have this level of power? If they were allowed to complete this jutsu, Mount Myoboku would be destroyed. However, he was too naive. The next moment, all 9 of Mizuki's shadow clone were cut off by invisible shurikens and turned into white smoke and dissipated. The unfinished ninjutsu was also stillborn. Outside, Mizuki frowned. It's so powerful. The attack came silently. Before I had time to react, the shadow clone was eliminated. It's a good thing it can't leave Mount Myoboku, otherwise I would have to hide. Previously in the temple, Gamamaru changed from old to young, and then from young to old again, which made Mizuki realize that the old toad was inseparable from Mount Myoboku, which was rich in the power of nature. The higher the concentration of the power of nature, the younger it is. On the contrary, it will become old. Outside of Mount Myoboku, the concentration of natural power is extremely low. If that toad dares to come out, it may become too old and unable to move in an instant. Advertisement. This is also the reason why Mizuki dares to attack Mount Myoboku. Except for Toadmaru, he was not afraid of any other toads. The shadow clone was killed instantly, and Mizuki had a better understanding of Gamamaru's strength. But that doesn't deter him. He once again separated out 9 shadow clone, allowing them to re-enter Mount Myoboku. This time, shadow clone did not stop at one place, but kept using Flying Thunder God. The position was erratic, left and right, making it impossible for Gamamaru to lock on. While flickering, the black and white chakra on shadow clone's hand gathered again. Gamaru frowned. Do you want to use this method to prevent me from locking the target? Too naive. Gamamaru narrowed his eyes, and the 9 invisible shurikens immediately divided into thousands and spread out densely. There are invisible shurikens everywhere, and Mizuki's shadow clone, no matter how it flashes, cannot escape the attack of shurikens. Bang, 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 shadow clone dissipated again. Hateful. Damn old toad, I'll kill you sooner or later. Mizuki was so angry that he cursed, damn it, even using Flying Thunder God continuously doesn't work. Mizuki has no choice now. Although I am angry, I still have to give up. Continue to send shadow clone? It's just a waste of chakra. With my current means, there's really nothing I can do, but I won't give up just like that. Just because it doesn't work now doesn't mean it won't work in a few days. Come back after I master the invincible Flying Thunder God. Invincible Flying Thunder God, after each flash, there's 0.5 seconds of invincibility. Until then, he can blow up Mount Myoboku however he wants. He will set off fireworks at Mount Myoboku and plow the land of Mount Myoboku thoroughly. He glanced at the lotus pond, turned and left. Don't be too happy too early, just wait, I will be back soon. In the Mount Myoboku temple, Gamamaru saw Mizuki leaving through the crystal ball and couldn't help but sneer. HMPH, if you want to run wild on Mount Myoboku, even if Hagoromo from his heyday comes here. At this time, Fukasaku and Shima arrive. Sir, why don't we close the entrance? Although Mizuki poses no threat to Mount Myoboku, it will scare the children if he keeps coming to harass us. Gamaru scolded. Stupid. When Otsutsuki Ashiki and Otsutsuki Kagaya came, we didn't even close the entrance. Now it's just a Mizuki, what are you afraid of? The entrance was closed and the news reached the ears of the other two tribes. They thought we were cowards and were afraid of a ninja. Don't worry, as long as I'm here, Mizuki won't be able to make any waves. Bird Country. Elder B of Rock Shinobi Village led a group of Rock Shinobi Village ninjas to Phoenix Village. From a distance, they saw 5 huge meteorites suspended in the sky above Phoenix Village. There are actually meteorites. Is it possible that Mizuki secretly learned our village's secret technique, the super light heavy rock technique? All the Rock Shinobi couldn't help but speculate. Elder B scolded. Don't say such words, especially after entering Fengwang Village, be more careful with your mouth. Have you forgotten what Mr. Tsuchikage told you? We came here this time to invite Phoenix Village to participate in the Chunin exam with a friendly attitude, not to declare war. Advertisement. The group of people quickly arrived outside Fengwang Village. At this time, Phoenix Village, under the publicity of the famous names of the bird country, had begun to move in, and vendors began to set up stalls on the streets, which gradually became lively. The overall shape of this village is so strange, the Rock Shinobi were curious. If you look down from a high altitude, you will find that the entire Phoenix Village is a regular octagon. This was designed by Mizuki. Like the Hoi building, it is also arranged in the shape of 8 trigrams. Phoenix Village has built a wall, which Naruto used earth style. The earth flow wall was built by technique. There are 8 gates in the village, which are divided into all directions. However, due to lack of manpower in the village, only 2 of the 8 gates, the east and the west, were opened, and the rest were closed. Stop. Where are you ninjas from? What's the point of coming to Phoenix Village? Because of the lack of manpower, the gatekeeper was also Naruto's shadow clone. Naruto was a poor student, so although these ninjas were wearing forehead protectors from Rock Shinobi Village, he didn't recognize them. The Rock Shinobi looked at Naruto, a little speechless. This brat was so ignorant. Rock Shinobi Village is one of the 5 great shinobi villages, but he doesn't even recognize it. Hello, we are ninjas from Rock Shinobi Village. We are here to visit first generation Hokage Mizuki-sama on the orders of 3rd Tsuchikage. Naruto suddenly said, oh, I remembered that the old uncle named Lao Zi wore the same forehead protector as your forehead protector. Well, the uncle is from Rock Shinobi Village, so it can't be wrong. Rock Shinobi. What kind of brain circuit is it that reacts so slowly? Are you here to see Master and want 4 tails back? My master said that 4 tails was delivered to your door by yourself and will not be returned. And my master is not here right now. All the Rock Shinobi suppressed their anger and did not break out. The tailed beast in his village was forcibly taken over, and now he is saying that he will not return what he brought to his door. Is there anything more outrageous than this? Elder B forced a smile and said, we're here for other reasons. I wonder when Master Mizuki will come back. Naruto shook his head. The time when Master will return to the village is uncertain. It may be tomorrow, or he may be back soon. If you have any questions, you can ask Grandma Tsunade. If Master is not here, Grandma Tsunade is the biggest in the village. Tsunade? Mother-in-law? Elder B was surprised and asked. Are you talking about Tsunade Heim, one of the Sannin? Naruto nodded. Yes, all the Rock Shinobi looked at each other, and their eyes showed that this was indeed the case. Even Tsunade, one of the Sannin, is in Konoha. In this case, Mizuki's defection to Konoha is indeed a lie and it was all staged by Konoha. Then, please, little brother, please take us to see Tsunade Heim. Soon, the Rock Shinobi met Tsunade. Rock Shinobi Village will hold the Chunin exam in half a month. Will Phoenix Village be invited to participate? Tsunade frowned. Rock Shinobi Village's 2nd Chunin exam this year, hasn't it been held yet? Elder B replied. It has already been held. The one held before was not very effective. Master Tsuchikage decided to hold another one. Phoenix Village happened to be established, so he sent me to invite. Tsunade immediately realized that this was a conspiracy. Testing Phoenix Village, and even plotting to kill the young ninjas of Phoenix Village. It was also Onoki's act of revenge. Every time there is a Chunin exam, there are heavy casualties. Phoenix Village has just been established, and there are still many things to deal with. We will not participate in this invitation. Elder B had already guessed that Tsunade would refuse, but he had already thought of an excuse. Tsunade-ji, don't be too busy to refuse. Taking the Chunin exam this time will be of great benefit to Phoenix Village. Listen to me slowly. Before he could finish speaking, Mizuki's voice sounded outside the door. I accepted this invitation. Go back and tell Onoki that Genin from Phoenix Village will be here in half a month. Chapter 122. Chunin Exam List, Special Training for Nobita. 2 scales. Onoki, in Mizuki's heart, has been labeled as timely rain. Mizuki was worried that the Chunin exam would have to wait until next year, but the result was good. Rock Shinobi Village actually added an exam. He quickly entered the room, held Elder B's hand tightly, and looked excited. Third Tsuchikage, you are really a good person. Phoenix Village was built in a primitive way. A bunch of brats are all genin. They are not qualified to carry out missions alone. Tsuchikage organized the Chunin exam and invited us to participate. This is of great significance to the development of Phoenix Village. I decided to give third Tsuchikage a big gift to express my gratitude. Not only was Onoki not angry when he detained Four Tails' son Wukong, he also held a Chunin exam to help him. If you don't give a gift to such a good person, you'll feel bad. The rock shinobi look weird. The purpose of this Chunin exam is for Phoenix Village and your strength, and you actually said that Tsuchikage is a good person. This is typical. After being sold, you still have to help count the money. Haha, Lord First Generation Fengying, you are too polite. Elder B smiled awkwardly. He didn't even know how to chat with Mizuki. Seeing that Mizuki agreed to take the Chunin exam, all the rock shinobi breathed a sigh of relief and left immediately. You have just arrived, don't leave in a hurry. Although Phoenix Village has just been built, there are still a lot of delicious food. If you stay here before leaving tomorrow, I will treat you well. Elder B. No, we have to go to Rain Shinobi Village and Grass Ninja Village to invite them to take the Chunin exam. It will be held in half a month, time is tight. Mizuki. Well, half a month is indeed a bit tight. Well, I'll treat you to dinner next time. Watching the rock shinobi walk away, Mizuki laughed heartily. Tsunade couldn't stand it anymore. No, why are you laughing? Mizuki. I remembered something happy. Tsunade was speechless. Is it worth being happy to jump into a hole dug by others? Why did you agree? Onoki is very ambitious. You captured Four Tails from their village. Instead of starting a war, he organized the Chunin exam. You can tell with your feet that there is a conspiracy, and it is a conspiracy specifically against us. Mizuki didn't care and said with a faint smile. I know all this. Onoki's real purpose is to use the Chunin exam to explore my ability information. I robbed Four Tails. He couldn't bear the tone, but he didn't know Rinnegan well and didn't dare to do it directly, so he did it. Tsunade asked doubtfully, since you know this, why did you agree? Mizuki smiled. In the face of absolute strength, all conspiracies and tricks are just paper tigers, so there is no need to worry. Tsunade was silent. Indeed, Mizuki has the confidence. For someone who can fight third Hokage, fourth Kazekage, and Orochimaru all by himself and win a complete victory, one can truly say that Tsuchikage is a paper tiger. But Tsunade still had concerns. Of course you are not afraid of being strong, but what about the children taking the exam? The casualties in the Chunin exam are very heavy. Even if they die during the exam, you have nothing to say. There are only a few children in Phoenix Village. If they are injured, I can still treat them. If they lose their lives, don't you feel sad? You can't use the Rinne Tensai technique to resurrect the dead now. Mizuki put away his smile and looked serious. Of course, he wasn't worried that the children would die. In fact, he wasn't worried at all. If a young bird wants to fly, it must take the initiative to flap its wings. If it does not face death, its strength will not improve. So they must take this Chunin exam. Advertisement. Ignoring the others, Naruto and Nobita must pass the exam and become Chunin. Mizuki urgently needs to increase the number of apprentices in the system. The more apprentices he has, the faster his strength will improve. Moreover, Phoenix Village needs to develop and a task system must be established. The more tasks you complete, the more famous your village will be. When the reputation becomes great, wandering ninjas will come here, and adults will actively send their children here to learn ninjutsu. We can't keep relying on fooling children from other villages to grow Phoenix Village. But now, in a village of genin, dogs would shake their heads just looking at it. There would be no one to entrust the task, let alone gain fame. Tsunade still felt that it was hasty and said, can't you wait a little longer and wait until next year? Among the current children in Phoenix Village, Sai, Shin, Nawaki, and Fu are Chunin and do not need to take the exam anymore. The rest, Naruto, Sasuke, Nobita, Gaara, Haku, Kosovo, Neji, Hinata, are all genin. Sasuke and Shang Phosphorus have gone missing and have not been found yet, so we will rule them out for now. The remaining 6 people formed exactly 2 teams. No one else will say it, but look at that Nobita, he didn't even master the 3-body technique. The new Hinata doesn't even look like a ninja. He took the Chunin exam twice, but he couldn't pass the second one and was at risk of death. Tsunade thinks that only Naruto, Shiro, Gaara, and Neji are qualified to participate. And because taking the Chunin exam requires a pair of 3 people, one has to be excluded. I think let Naruto, Shiro, and Gaara go. The 3 of them don't have to worry even if they meet Jonin. Mizuki shook his head. No, all 6 of them have to participate. With teammates taking care of them, Nobita and Hinata will be fine. Even if they don't pass, there will be no danger. Mizuki has already planned that Naruto, Hinata, and Shiro will form a team, and Neji, Gaara, and Nobita will form a team. In addition, in the remaining half a month, I will conduct special training for Nobita. As for Hinata, leave it to Hisashi. Naruto is not worried, but Nobita is a little hung up, so he must have a special training to improve his strength. At least, let him pass the Chunin exam. Seeing Mizuki's insistence, Tsunade didn't want to say more. Okay, you are Phoenix, you have the final say. She took Shizune to the village casino to gamble. The village became more and more prosperous, and under Tsunade's deliberate arrangement, several casinos were opened. She no longer needs to go to the Kingdom of Birds to gamble. There is a casino at your doorstep, which is convenient and hassle-free. Mizuki first found Hizashi and asked him to train Hinata, and then found Nobita. 3-body technique, how are you mastering it? Nobita said cautiously. Clone technique can create a clone. Transformation technique has always been different. As for the body replacement technique, Nobita couldn't talk anymore, and Mizuki wasn't surprised either. It is already very good to be able to achieve this. Many students who have studied in ninja schools for 6 years may not be able to master the 3-body technique well. How long has Nobita been exposed to ninjutsu? Very good, Mizuki praised. Huh? Nobita was shocked. He thought Mizuki would criticize, but it turned out to be praise. Mizuki said, in half a month, there will be a Chunin exam in Earth Country Rock Shinobi Village, and you have to go. And I demand that you pass the exam and become a Chunin. Nobita said in a panic. Master, I can't do it. I will embarrass you if I go. Mizuki said. What's the rush? There's only half a month left. I'll give you special training to maximize your strength. Nobita's qualifications are very ordinary, and his efficiency is very low whether it is refining chakra or practicing ninja illusion. There is no bloodline limit, and there is no smart brain. Generally speaking, such people are not even cannon fodder in the ninja world. But Mizuki had no choice. Who told him to accept this disciple? Advertisement now that you have accepted it, you must be responsible to the end. Moreover, it was related to the number of apprentices in the system, so he couldn't help but be concerned about it. Today's task is to master the transformation technique. When learning any ninjutsu, you must simplify the complex and start with simple steps. Just like the transformation technique, don't think about becoming someone else as soon as you start. It's too difficult and will dampen your enthusiasm. To learn anything, you must be interested. The same is true for learning ninjutsu. If you never learn it, your interest will gradually fade away and your learning efficiency will be greatly reduced. Therefore, if you want to learn ninjutsu well, you must not rush. Just like when Jiraiya taught Naruto how to learn Rasengan, the method he used was very good. Break the water balloon first, then the leather ball, and then the last step. After the water ball burst, Naruto was very happy and his interest immediately increased. After the ball broke, Naruto became even more interested. If Naruto was asked to take the last step, he might lose interest after a while or even give up. You need to start with simple exercises. For example, first turn into stone. Mizuki pointed to a stone on the ground. Nobita looked at the stone and said, it seems that it is easier to change into a stone than a human. Mizuki smiled and said, don't relax too much, it's still a bit difficult to become exactly like this stone. Now, I'll give you 10 minutes to carve this stone into your mind. To the point where you can completely remember the shape of the stone even with your eyes closed. Nobita followed what Mizuki said and observed the stone from all angles. 10 minutes later, Mizuki asked, how is it, do you remember it? Nobita nodded. Yes, I have already memorized the shape of the stone. Then let's get started. Nobita formed a seal and then turned into stone with a bang sound. But compared to the original stone, it's a bit hard to describe. Remove, start again. It's too thin overall, especially the top of my head, which is too pointed. And the color, it's completely different. Under Mizuki's one-on-one guidance, Nobita made rapid progress, but it was absolutely impossible to master the transformation technique in one day. There is no way, the qualifications are too poor. There is no difference between the two Mizukis in appearance alone. The next moment, Mizuki clearly felt that Nobita's expression changed. It was an expression of wisdom. The next moment, he formed the seal again. How? This won't work, Mizuki shook his head. If this continues, not to mention half a month, even a month, Dashang is afraid that he still won't be able to master the 3-body technique. Nobita said happily, Master, I know why we always fail. You have to use other methods. Mizuki took out Liushin toilet water. 10 seconds passed quickly, and Nobita opened his eyes. The corners of his mouth also curled up. As mental power increases, the control of chakra will improve, and people will enter a state of enlightenment, learning everything quickly. This thing can increase mental power 6 times. Although it lasts only 10 seconds, the effect is super powerful. Here, close your eyes, smell this, and think about the transformation technique in your mind. Nobita didn't even ask what it was, he closed his eyes and took a whiff. But Nobita continued, Master, I feel that not only have I mastered the transformation technique, I have also mastered the body replacement technique. Mizuki would occasionally use it when learning difficult ninjutsu. Mizuki nodded. Not bad, not bad. With a bang sound, Nobita changed and turned into Mizuki. Chapter 123. Nobita and Jingle Cat looking at Nobita with excitement on his face, Mizuki shook his head. Don't be too happy too soon. Ignore the body replacement technique now, focus all your attention on the transformation technique. Keep transforming, don't stop, let the transformation technique become your instinct. Mizuki has used Liushin toilet water many times and is very aware of its effect. A 10-second state of enlightenment will give people a strong ability to comprehend and understand, and they can learn anything quickly. However, when the effect is lifted and the mental power returns to normal, many things that were previously understood will gradually be forgotten. The worse your talent, the faster you will forget. Just like a bad student who goes to a cram school for one-on-one tutoring, he understands everything the teacher says and feels like he has learned everything. You can also solve the questions asked by the teacher in class. At this time, the academic scumbag feels like a god of academics. But after class, the knowledge is quickly forgotten, and the forgetting speed is measured in minutes. It won't take long for most of the content to be returned to the teacher. By the next day, less than 20% may be remembered. Therefore, in class the next day, the teacher had to review yesterday's content again. Only by repeating this can you learn. If you become a top student, you don't need to attend cram schools at all, and self-study is very easy. Nobita kept using the transformation technique as Mizuki said. Become Naruto, become Tsunade, become Mizuki. Master, how could this happen? I felt like I had completely mastered it just now, but now I feel like I have forgotten a lot. And, the more I forget, the more I forget. Nobita's face was filled with confusion. As he continues to use the transformation technique, the person he transforms becomes less and less like him. When the effect of Liushin cosmetic water ends, the Mizuki he transforms into is exactly the same as the real Mizuki. But now, only half a minute has passed, and the Mizuki he has become is already starting to look out of shape. But no matter what, it's much better than at the beginning. Mizuki sighed in his heart. Hey, this is a scumbag. At this moment, Mizuki suddenly had no hope that Nobita could pass the Chunin exam. Don't worry, this is normal, Mizuki comforted. What else could he say? In fact, he didn't even dare to show a disappointed expression, lest it dampen Nobita's enthusiasm. You have just learned the essence of transformation technique. Next, you just need to keep practicing and try to get back to the state you were in. It won't take long before you can completely master the transformation technique. Nobita asked, Master, can you let me smell the potion just now a few more times? I feel that if I do it 3 more times, no, 2 more times, I can quickly master the transformation technique. Mizuki shook his head. This thing can only be used once a day, otherwise it will damage the brain. Besides, the most important thing to learn ninjutsu is to rely on yourself. It's hard to achieve success by relying on external things. You continue to practice. I will come again tomorrow and let you use the potion once. Try to master the transformation technique within 3 days. Nobita was left to practice the transformation technique alone, and Mizuki ignored him. There is no guidance for basic ninjutsu like the transformation technique, so he has to learn it by himself. If you can't understand it yourself, it's useless no matter how much others say. Looking at Mizuki's leaving figure, Nobita looked a little depressed. At this moment, a chubby yellow figure jumped quickly among the trees, and soon arrived at Nobita's side. It was the fat orange of the daimyo lady. I saw it holding a fish in its mouth, walking up to Nobita, lowering its head and letting go. The fish fell to the ground and was still moving. Cat meows. Advertisement. Nobita looked at the fat orange with a smile on his face. Do you want to eat fish again for lunch? Don't worry, I'll bake it for you now. He began to get busy, collecting dry firewood, lighting a fire, grilling fish, and taking out seasonings from the seal scroll. The cat jumped on Nobita's head, with its 2 front paws on Nobita's head and its belly against the back of Nobita's head. The 2 hind paws stepped on the collar of Nobita's neck, and his tail swayed from side to side, looking very leisurely. It just watched Nobita grilling the fish and said, meow, from time to time. This scene looks particularly warm. Ever since this cat came to Fenghuang village, it never wanted to leave. In the past, when he was at Madame Daimyo's place, he was carelessly teased by Madame Daimyo every day. It felt like it had lost its freedom and always wanted to escape. But after being abandoned and struggling to survive in the wild for a period of time, it regretted it. It misses the days when there was a shit-shoveling officer. Therefore, after arriving at Phoenix Village, it stopped running. However, it has a bad temper, so many people in the village don't want to be its poop scooper. After searching around, I finally found that only Nobita could accept it. So, it got mixed up with Nobita. Nobita takes care of everything from eating and drinking to eating. Nobita helps it get whatever it wants to eat, and it is pampered to the heavens. Nobita didn't know that the cat's original name was Xiaohu, so he changed his name and called it Ding Dang. Cat meows. No, eating too much chili pepper will make you angry. Haven't you noticed that you have a lot of eye pus recently? Cat meow, cat meow. There's no point in protesting. Unless you eat 10 sticks after a meal and 20 sticks of catgrass are not irritating, you won't add chili peppers. Meow, ding dong. Do you think Master is disappointed in me? I haven't mastered the 3-body technique for so long. The Chunin exam will be held in half a month. I'm so weak, I will definitely not be able to pass. Meow. Ding Dang patted Nobita's head with his paw. Can you help me? How can you help me? Ding Dang jumped off his head, sat on the ground, stretched out his 2 front paws and dug into his belly, and took out a scroll. Nobita was curious and looked at Ding Dang's belly. Hey, Ding Dong, why do you have a pocket on your belly? You are a cat, not a kangaroo. As he said this, he wanted to reach out and dig it out. Cat meow. Ding Dang shouted and slapped Nobita's hand. With a pop sound, Nobita quickly retracted his hand. If you don't want to show me, why don't you show me? The back of Nobita's hand was red from the beating. Ding Dang threw the scroll to Nobita and shouted twice. The contract scroll of the summoning technique. Ding Dong, will you be my summoning beast and help me pass the Chunin exam? But you are so weak, meow. Mizuki found Naruto. As for Nobita, Mizuki has basically given up. Therefore, Naruto must pass the exam and become a chunin. There are 5 apprentices, little Sakura is dead, Sasuke is missing and cannot be found, little Lee is in Konoha, and Nobita is too weak. All he could count on now was Naruto. Master Mizuki, what do you want from me? Mizuki. The chunin exam will be in half a month. Before that, you have to learn a ninjutsu. What ninjutsu? Naruto was curious. Advertisement. Mizuki. Telescope technique. The first chunin exam is a written test that tests theoretical knowledge. If you want to pass this exam, you must have a solid theoretical foundation and be able to answer the questions. Either you have strong intelligence gathering ability and can answer the questions by cheating. Naruto's theoretical basis is really difficult to describe in one sentence, so I can only pass this exam by cheating. The telescope technique is a very good cheating jutsu. Naruto asked curiously, what is the telescope technique used for? Like a telescope, can you see distant scenes? Mizuki nodded and said, not bad. This technique can be used to detect intelligence. You can use the telescope technique to see places that you cannot see with the naked eye. The first test of the chunin exam is about intelligence detection, so you must learn this technique. Although, in the anime, Naruto passed the first exam without answering a single question, that was purely an accident. Mizuki doesn't dare to gamble and must be fully prepared. Hand the ninjutsu scroll to Naruto and Mizuki will leave it alone. Naruto is not Nobita. He relied on the shadow clone technique to learn all ninjutsu very quickly. He can quickly learn Flying Thunder God, let alone the telescope technique. Mizuki doesn't need to worry at all. Naruto has made arrangements here. Mizuki no longer cares about other people. The shadow clone sent out is still searching for Sasuke's whereabouts, while his body continues to cultivate the invincible Flying Thunder God. The hatred of Mount Myoboku was something he always kept in mind. The invincible Flying Thunder God must be learned to teach Mount Myoboku a harsh lesson. This technique is extremely difficult. Even with the help of Liushin flower water, Mizuki can't practice it very fast. Of all the ninjutsu Mizuki has ever learned, it is the most difficult and the most time-consuming. An orphanage was built in the south of the village, near the river. There are already 5 orphans living here, all of whom Zabuza brought back from outside. At this time, Zabuza was taking these 5 children to catch fish by the river. Bai was carrying a bamboo basket and picking flowers on the shore. Suddenly a child shouted, Uncle Zabuza, look, there is a person floating over there. Zabuza looked up and saw a person floating on the water, floating upward from the lower reaches of the river. Something doesn't look right at first glance. The water is flowing downwards, how can a person float upwards? Get ashore quickly. Zabuza could see at a glance that there was a shark underneath this man. The shark carried the man on his back and swam upstream. It's a woman with a forehead protector from Cloud Shinobi village. Haku came to Zabuza and said calmly. The shark moved the person closer, and the sound of bang disappeared. It's summoning shark. Bye. Pick him up, soon. In front of the Funging building, everyone looked at the wet and unconscious woman on the ground and guessed her identity. Kushina said, this is also a Jinchuriki. Mizuki nodded and said, this person's name is Wooden Golem, the second-tailed Matabi's Jinchuriki. I was R******D by a shark. If I'm not mistaken, it was the Akatsuki organization that did it again. Nagato is really awesome. 4 tails was given, 3 tails was given, and now 2 tails is given. Tsunade frowned. The tailed beasts from Cloud Shinobi village have also arrived at our place. Now, all the 5 major villages have been offended by us. Mizuki, just tell me what to do. Chapter 124. In the world of ninjas, kindness is stupidity. What do you mean? You can't turn away the tailed beast that comes to your door. Besides, the tailed beast is better in my hands than in the hands of the Akatsuki organization. At least, in my hands, the wooden golem will not die. As for the Akatsuki organization, they will never resurrect her after drawing the second tail. Tsunade shook his head. Having said that, Reikage would never think so, and neither would Tsuchikage. If the 5 major villages join forces to attack, can you stop them? Yes, you are indeed very strong, but there are so many ninjas in the 5 major villages, so many masters, and countless secret techniques. It is no joke. Tsunade has some friendship with 4th Reikage Eye, and he doesn't want to see the 2 sides get into trouble. Mizuki. Come on, come on. If you can't stop me, why can't I run away? We only have a few ninjas in Phoenix Village. Find a hidden place to hide. They will definitely not be able to find it. Tsunade. What he said is that he is really a bachelor. Okay, you are Feng Ying, you have the final say. Tired, she was helpless, she was so unlucky to have such a willful boss. But Mizuki resurrected Nawaki, and she had to return this huge favor. It's no longer possible to commit oneself to each other. I can only stay in this village, gamble, and do what I can. Kushina, I'm going to trouble you again. Kushina is not afraid of anything like Tsunade, and she has no worries about Mizuki collecting tailed beasts. Soon, the second tail was drawn out, and Mizuki sealed it directly. Immediately afterwards, he will be resurrected by the wooden golem. Cloud Shinobi Village's wooden golem, you can go. Mizuki has no intention of staying behind by wooden golem. The ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village have a strong sense of belonging to Cloud Shinobi Village. Throughout the entire Hokage anime, among the 5 major ninja villages, Konoha Village, Mist Ninja Village, Rock Shinobi Village, and Sand Shinobi Village, all have rebel ninjas. Only in Cloud Shinobi Village, there are no rebellious ninjas. Although the Raikage of the past generations were all strong men with big brains and muscles, they were exactly the kind of people who did not like to play tricks or trick their own people. Unlike other villages, where they are all old men. Therefore, the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village have a strong sense of belonging to Cloud Shinobi Village. Mizuki didn't bother to waste any time. He knew that Wooden Golem would not be able to stay. Wooden Golem said, "I can leave and return Matabi to me. The second tail belongs to Cloud Shinobi Village." Mizuki. "It's impossible to give it back to you. If I give it back to you, you can't keep it. It won't be long before the Akatsuki organization sends it to you. Besides, the 9-tailed beasts don't belong to anyone, nor do they belong to any village. In other words, whoever has the bigger fist belongs to him. Leave immediately, I can resurrect you, and of course I can kill you again." Wooden Golem didn't give up. He quickly reached Mizuki's side and kicked Mizuki in the back of the head with a whip leg. Mizuki raised his hand and blocked the blow with his forearm. Wooden Golem attacked one after another, but Mizuki easily blocked them. Ninja technique. Fire Rat Jade. Seeing that taijutsu was useless to Mizuki, Wooden Golem directly switched to ninjutsu. She quickly jumped back a few steps, spitting out a rat-shaped flame from her mouth, and rushed towards Mizuki. Wherever she went, the high temperature scorched and twisted the air. In the blink of an eye, Fire Utama arrived in front of Mizuki. Mizuki glanced lightly, raised his hand and made a big push, and the Fire Rat Jade was knocked to the ground and quickly extinguished. What? Wooden Golem was shocked. Knocking off his own Fire Rat Jade with bare hands, what kind of horrible pervert is this? Even more terrifying than the 2 people from the Akatsuki organization before. Wooden Golem realized that it was impossible to recapture the second tail, and even escaping was difficult. She regretted a little. She should have left just now, but now she was fine. She had offended someone, and she might not be able to leave even if she wanted to. Advertisement: if I want to leave now, there is only one way. She looked around with her peripheral vision and quickly selected a target. The next moment, she teleported behind Naruto, with a kunai on Naruto's neck. No one stopped her, everyone watched silently. This yellow-haired kid has clear stupidity in his eyes. He probably has no ability, so I took him as a hostage. Give me the second tail and let me go, or I will kill him. Wooden Golem looked at Mizuki and said loudly. No one around him moved, seemingly unconcerned about Naruto's life or death. This made Wooden Golem feel surprised, and even thought that Naruto's popularity was too low. Mizuki narrowed his eyes, murderous intent flashing in his eyes. He had been merciless when he started just now, but now, the actions of Wooden Golem made him angry. At this time Naruto said, "Master, let her go. She finally got rid of her Jinchuriki identity and has not yet enjoyed a new life." Naruto felt that Wooden Golem was living in the same misery as him, and Shunin couldn't help but sympathize with him. Little does he know that Wooden Golem is the perfect Jinchuriki, who can perfectly control the 2 tails, has a good personality, and is deeply respected and loved by the villagers of Cloud Shinobi Village. Completely different from him. It was completely different from what he imagined. Naruto, it's okay to be kind, but it depends on who the target is. Mizuki felt that Naruto went too far. Even with a kunai on his neck, he begged for mercy for her. This was not kindness, it was stupidity. Don't show mercy to your enemies, because the enemies will not show mercy to you. And Wooden Golem, though surprised by Naruto's kindness. But the kunai on Naruto's neck showed no intention of moving away. Most ninjas are cold-blooded executioners who kill decisively and are not easily affected by emotions. Sister, please let go. I will convince Master to let you go, Naruto said to Wooden Golem. Wooden Golem sneered. Kid, just now I thought you were kind and stupid, but now, my view of you has changed. You just want to trick me into letting you go. HMPH, don't even think about it. I'm not a 3-year-old kid, so I won't be fooled. A wry smile appeared on Naruto's face, and the next moment, he disappeared. What? Wooden Golem was shocked. Is this the Flying Thunder God technique used by the 4th Hokage? She was shocked, but there was no room for her to think too much at the moment. Naruto knows Flying Thunder God and cannot be a hostage, he must be replaced. She sets her sights on her next target, Hinata. Just stop it, Mizuki couldn't stand it anymore. Universal pull. Under the influence of gravity, Wooden Golem's body flew uncontrollably in front of Mizuki, and Mizuki grabbed him by the neck. No resistance. If you don't eat the toast, you will be punished with alcohol. Since you are looking for death, then go die. With a click, Mizuki broke the neck of Wooden Golem and sent her into the Pure Land. Seeing this, Naruto sighed. The next moment, Kushina stepped in front of Naruto and punched Naruto on the head. Ah, it hurts. Mom, why did you hit me? Kushina had a cold face. She was both gratified and frightened by her son's kindness. But as a ninja, kindness is stupidity, poison, and deadly poison. Advertisement: Kushina doesn't want to see her son die because of his kindness one day in the future. Naruto, come with me. She wanted to educate her son well today. The mistake she made just now would never be made again in the future. She picked up Naruto's ears and dragged him towards home. To educate children, you have to educate them at home, in a closed cell. Hinata looked at Naruto being carried away by Kushina with worry on her face. Naruto-kun. Phoenix Village already has 6 of the 9-tailed beasts, and the only ones left are 5 tails Kakuo, 6 tails Seiken, and 8 tails Gyuki. The Akatsuki organization needs to work harder. Peace has returned to Fenghuang Village, and those who gamble, practice, and run the orphanage are not idle. The Land of Thunder, Cloud Shinobi Village. With a bang, the glass of the floor-to-ceiling window in Raikage's office exploded, and 4th Raikage jumped in from the window, his face full of anger and his beard standing up. Damn Phoenix Village, damn Mizuki. 3 days have passed since Mizuki killed Wooden Golem. The news that the second tail was obtained by Phoenix Village and that Wooden Golem was killed by Mizuki finally reached the Kingdom of Thunder under the deliberate propaganda of the Akatsuki organization. 4th Raikage's violent temper completely exploded. Immediately organize the Jonin team. I will personally lead the team and go to the Kingdom of Birds to destroy the Phoenix Village, kill Mizuki and recapture the 2 tails. Go to Unlay Gorge and call Bai back. This time he will go with me. Use Lariat to break Mizuki's neck and twist off his stupid and crazy head. Mabui calmly glanced at the broken floor-to-ceiling window without any expression. It's just a small scene, I've long been used to it. We are all saddened by the death of Wooden Golem, but we still have to be cautious when attacking Phoenix Village. Raikage said angrily. Mizuki killed Wooden Golem. If I don't tolerate this anymore, I, Raikage, won't have to take responsibility. If you dare to attack the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village, this matter must not be ignored. Mizuki must die and Phoenix Village must be destroyed. Mabui said. I'm not saying that I won't take revenge. What I mean is that you can't do it easily. We don't know much about Mizuki's strength. If we attack rashly, we will easily fail. Just then, Anbu came to report. Lord Raikage, a messenger from Rock Shinobi Village has come to discuss important matters. Raikage shouted. Let them go. Now that everything is put aside, attacking Phoenix Village and killing Mizuki is the most important thing. Anbu said. Master Raikage, the envoy from Rock Shinobi Village came here to discuss dealing with Mizuki. Oh, are Onoki anxious too? Yes, 4 Tails has also arrived at Phoenix Village? In that case, let them in. I want to see what that old B*** D Onoki has to say. Soon, the Rock Shinobi Village messenger arrived. Tell me, what crazy idea did Onoki come up with to deal with Mizuki? Rock Shinobi messenger. Mizuki is powerful and has a brilliant record, but his specific abilities are unknown. It would be a mistake to act hastily. Therefore, we need to know his ability information in order to formulate a targeted combat plan. For this reason, Master Tsuchikage organized the Chunin examination to get a glimpse of the strength of Phoenix Village and Mizuki through the genin of Phoenix Village. In addition to Cloud Shinobi Village, we also invited Sand Shinobi Village and Kirigakure. Raikage asked curiously, why not invite Konoha? Rock Shinobi Messenger. Master Tsuchikage suspected that Phoenix Village was established with the support of Konoha, so he did not invite Konoha to avoid being counterproductive. Raikage nodded. Okay, I, Cloud Shinobi Village, will take part in this Chunin exam. And I'll be there in person, but before that, our 4 villages have to discuss the ownership of the tailed beast. Let's make an agreement first. In addition to the 2 tails, the 3 tails must also belong to us. Chapter 125. Nobita's latest 3 returns Phoenix Village, training ground. In the middle of the night, Master, I finally mastered the transformation technique. Nobita was very happy. Mizuki breathed a sigh of relief. It's not easy. It took 5 days to let Nobita use Liushin toilet water once a day. It's equivalent to letting him relive it every day. Finally, Mizuki was not disappointed. Just today, Nobita pushed transformation technique to full experience. But when he thinks about the body replacement technique and clone technique, Mizuki gets a headache. Master, it's almost midnight, do you want to practice more today? Mizuki said. I won't practice anymore. I'll practice again tomorrow, but I don't have to go back. Just sit down and talk with me. Nobita felt strange. In the past, Mizuki left directly after instructing him on training. Today I have to chat with myself and I don't know what to talk about. The 2 lay on the lawn, looking at the stars in the sky through the treetops. Nobita, what is your dream? Nobita thought for a while and said, in the past, in the orphanage, we were always bullied by the children in the village. My dream is to prevent all orphans in the ninja world from being bullied by others. Mizuki smiled. A child's dream is always so simple. At this moment, a meteor flashed across the sky and Mizuki hurriedly said, make a wish as soon as you see the meteor, and your wish will come true. Nobita quickly closed his eyes and made a wish. Master, I have made my wish, but can it really come true? Mizuki said. Definitely, at this time, Nobita asked. Master, do you have a dream? Mizuki smiled and said, everyone has dreams. Master is also a human being, of course he also has dreams. Then what is your dream, Master? Mizuki was silent for a moment and said, my dream is to return to my hometown one day and see. At this point, Mizuki did not continue. Going back to your hometown? Master Mizuki really has deep feelings for Konoha. Nobita subconsciously believed that the hometown Mizuki mentioned was Konoha village in the Land of Fire. At this moment, he had one more wish in his heart, which was to help Mizuki realize this dream. Master, don't worry, I will definitely help you and let you return to your hometown, Nobita said firmly. Haha. Mizuki laughed twice and touched Nobita's head. Then Master, I am counting on you. Nobita nodded heavily. Yes. Just then, Mizuki looked at the time. Just after midnight, a new day, a new month, begins. The system prompts that the return opportunity has been refreshed. It's time to collect wool again. Nobita, I give this shuriken to you. Ninjas must not only learn ninjutsu, but they must also not be bad at using ninja tools. Starting tomorrow, you will not only practice the three-body technique, but also the shuriken throwing technique. Nobita said, oh, and took the shuriken. Open black lens bracket ding, close black lens bracket. Host grants disciple Nobita a shuriken, triggering a 900-fold return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, you have obtained an invisible shuriken controlled by your mind. This shuriken cannot be seen by anyone other than its owner. It can be controlled by thoughts and can fly, turn, accelerate, and attack at will. Close black lens bracket. Note. A drop of blood is required to identify the owner. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki smiled. It's even more powerful than the mind-controlled shuriken that was returned before. This time, the shuriken can not only be controlled with thoughts, but is also invisible. Advertisement. Nobita, reach out your hand. Although Nobita didn't know why Mizuki asked him to reach out, he still obeyed and stretched out his right hand. Mizuki waved his hand, and with a swish sound, blood splattered directly on the back of Nobita's hand. Ah! Nobita cried out in pain and hurriedly covered the wound on his right hand with his left hand. But Mizuki grabbed his left hand and prevented him from covering it. Master, what are you doing? Nobita looked at Mizuki, confused. Mizuki smiled. Look at your wounds. Nobita looked down and saw a shuriken nailed to the back of his hand. But just now, there was obviously nothing. What's even stranger is that he clearly saw that his blood was absorbed by this shuriken. Soon he felt that this shuriken seemed to have established some connection with himself. It's a very strange feeling. Try to use your mind to make this shuriken fly. Nobita's eyes widened and he looked at Mizuki with a strange expression. Master, are you kidding? How can thoughts make shurikens fly? But the next moment, his mouth opened wide, because this shuriken really flies. And as his thoughts changed, the flight trajectory of the shuriken began to change. Let it fly how it flies. How could this happen? Nobita was shocked. Even a little overwhelmed. This is beyond his cognition. Mizuki looked serious and said, this is my gift to you. This shuriken is different. You can control it with your mind and let it fly and attack at will. No one else can see this shuriken except you, so, this is your trump card. Don't tell anyone about its existence. Master, you are so good to me. Nobita was so moved that he almost cried. Master, don't worry. With this shuriken, I will definitely pass the Chunin exam and will never embarrass Master. Mizuki shook his head and smiled. Don't be too happy too early. The power of the shuriken is limited. If he wants to pass the Chunin exam with it alone, he may not be able to succeed. The shuriken is only so big and is usually used to interfere with the enemy's movement. Even if it hits the enemy's body, unless it is in a vulnerable position like the throat, it will not have a one-hit kill effect. Mizuki also worked hard to make Nobita pass the Chunin exam. He wouldn't keep such a good thing for himself, but this is not enough. Then, he took out another pair of glasses and handed them to Nobita. Master, I have very good eyesight. I am not nearsighted. I don't need to wear glasses. Mizuki said. Don't be wordy, just take it if it's given to you. So Nobita took it. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host grants disciple Nobita a pair of ordinary glasses, triggering a 200-fold return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, you have received a pair of junior see-through glasses. Close black lens bracket. Basic clairvoyance glasses consume chakra to enable clairvoyance, with a range of 3 meters. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki held this pair of junior see-through glasses and suddenly felt reluctant to part with them. Isn't it a bit of a waste to give such a good thing to a kid who doesn't have all his hair? But in order for Nobita to pass the first Chunin exam, it would be impossible not to give it away. Why? Sighing, Mizuki could only reluctantly give up. Wait a minute, you got it wrong. This pair of glasses is for you. Mizuki took the ordinary glasses back from Nobita's hand and handed him the junior see-through glasses. Nobita asked curiously, they are all the same, is there any difference between them? Mizuki said. Of course there is a difference. The glasses you have are not ordinary glasses. They will be of great help to you in taking the Chunin exam. Advertisement, put chakra in it and you'll see what it does. Nobita was about to put on his glasses and try them on, but Mizuki said hurriedly, don't worry, go back and try it slowly. He didn't want Nobita to see his underwear naked. With these glasses, Nobita would have no problem taking the first written test of the Chunin exam. Nobita still has one chance to return the favor, and Mizuki doesn't intend to leave it until later. Nobita, I see that Ding Dang likes being with you very much. Do you like Ding Dang too? Seeing Mizuki mention the cat, Nobita smiled on his face. Yes, master, I like Ding Dong very much. Ding Dong said that he would help me pass the Chunin exam, and he also signed a summoning contract with me. Mizuki smiled and said, okay, then I will officially give Ding Dang to you. From now on, Ding Dang will be yours. Really? Great. Nobita cheered. Open black lens bracket Ding. Close black lens bracket, host grants his disciple Nobita a Ninja Cat, which triggers an 888-fold return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, you have obtained the summoning contract scroll of the extraordinary ninja cat family. Close black lens bracket. Extraordinary Ninja Cats, a clan of ninja cats living on the Meow Star, are famous in the universe for their powerful physical skills. They have super fast reactions, agile actions, and are very powerful. Close black lens bracket. Note: to summon the extraordinary ninja cat, you need to prepare small dried fish, otherwise you will be responsible for the consequences. Close black lens bracket. Meow Star? Mizuki's eyes widened, so speechless. There was an extra scroll in his storage ring, and he took it out. Opening the scroll, Mizuki signed his name and pressed the bloody handprint. Then he said to Nobita, come and sign this summoning blood contract. This is the summoning scroll of the extraordinary ninja cat clan. They're good at physical skills and it will be helpful to you. So Nobita also signed the contract. Now try it and see what kind of ninja cat you can summon. Nobita formed a seal, slapped the ground with one hand, and shouted, summoning technique. With a bang sound, a blue cat standing on two legs, wearing mink fur, and almost as tall as a person appeared. Hey, am I being summoned? Meow. Where is this place? Meow. The cat glanced at Mizuki before focusing on Nobita. Are you the one who summoned me here? Meow. Where's the little fish? Meow. Nobita was stunned. Dried small fish. The blue cat saw this and said angrily, you dare to summon the great Viscount Watermelon without dried fish, I will beat you up. Meow. Wait a minute. Nobita shouted, but it was already too late. The blue cat reached Nobita's side in a flash, and its thick tail whipped towards Nobita's legs like a whip. Mizuki was shocked when he saw this. Mizuki attacked again, but the cat was too agile. With Mizuki's taijutsu skills, he couldn't defeat it. Stop. Mizuki's face darkened. Mizuki smiled lightly. Mizuki also discovered this. Compared with taijutsu, he was far different from this cat. A hint of amusement flashed in the blue cat's eyes. He stopped and stopped attacking. Meow. Zigwa screamed in horror, his eyes widening. In fact, in the eyes of this blue cat named Watermelon, Mizuki looks like an Alzheimer's patient. His movements are deathly slow. Baby, fight with me. You're a little too young. The cat's reactions were extremely sensitive, and it easily dodged Mizuki's attack by turning its head to one side. He transformed and switched places with Nobita. His body flashed past the cat's tail, and he punched the cat's head at the same time. Don't stop, continue your performance. Meow. Zigwa felt unhappy and still wanted to play. With this kind of attack, it's impossible to hit the great Viscount Watermelon. Meow. Fat cat, if you really take me seriously, there's nothing you can do about it, right? This cat is really fast. Seeing the one tail coming down, Nobita's leg would be lame for a long time even if it didn't stop. Of course, Mizuki would not allow this to happen. The next moment, Sharingan appeared, and the illusion shrouded the watermelon. Chapter 126. The invincible flying thunder god was successfully cultivated. Half a minute later, the illusion was lifted. I'm dizzy, I'm dizzy. Meow. Watermelon lay limp on the ground, with his tongue protruding from the corner of his mouth, as if he had just undergone sterilization surgery, and there was a faint sadness. Master. Master, is it okay? Nobita liked cats, and he felt a little sorry when he saw the cat being tortured like this by illusion. After all, it was summoning himself, and he was a little worried that it was so miserable. Mizuki snorted. Trash cat, if you dare to act arrogant in front of me, I'll beat you up every time you see me. After saying that, he turned around and left. Nobita wanted to go with Mizuki, but after looking at the watermelon lying on the ground, he didn't choose to leave. Are you okay, stupid human? Get out of here, meow? Watermelon was so angry that he exploded his hair and wanted to hit Nobita with his paw. But the illusion spell made it so depressed that it didn't even have the strength to lift its paws. Nobita was not angry because of Zigwa's attitude, but was very patient. Don't be angry. Don't you want to eat fish? I can grill fish. Do you want to eat it? The fish I grilled is delicious. Ding Dang loves it, and so do the wildcats in the forest. When the watermelon heard the grilled fish, his pupils shrank and the exploded hairs softened. It's obvious that it's excited, but its innate arrogance prevents it from showing any humility. Don't think that grilling fish can extinguish my lord's anger. I am also a viscount after all. Am I the kind of silly cat who won't get angry just because of grilled fish? Half an hour later, Mizuki looked through the technique telescope and saw Watermelon happily eating grilled fish and smiled. This cat's taijutsu has reached the level of Jonin. I am no match for it in terms of taijutsu alone. Cat's neurological reaction speed is inherently powerful. Human actions, in the eyes of cats, are in slow motion. They can easily dodge human attacks and counterattack quickly and effectively. 10 slaps per second is no joke. Therefore, in terms of physical skills, they have unique talents. With this cat, Nobita's success rate in passing the Chunin exam has been greatly improved. Mizuki can finally breathe a sigh of relief. In the next few days, Mizuki will take time to guide Nobita in training. He has mastered transformation technique, but clone technique and body replacement technique are still far away. He still needs the help of Liushin toilet water and Mizuki's tips. At other times, Mizuki continued to practice the invincible flying thunder god technique. In the forest, Mizuki's face was slightly raised, his eyes closed, and he stood quietly. He was feeling something. Advertisement. Suddenly, he opened his eyes. With a swish sound, the kunai flew out and was nailed to a tree trunk. At the landing point, the trap was triggered, and dozens of detonating symbols were set alight. The next moment, Mizuki disappeared and appeared in the kunai position. At the same time, the detonating talisman exploded. Boom! There was a loud noise, and the tree next to the three people hugging each other was instantly blown apart. But Mizuki stood at the center of the explosion, but remained intact. There seemed to be an invisible protective shield around him, protecting him from any harm. Even the high temperature generated by the explosion of the detonating talisman could not have any impact on him. However, after only 0.5 seconds, the protective cover failed. Mizuki immediately felt the force of the explosion coming towards his face. The raging flames, mixed with the terrifying high-temperature shockwave, could blow a person to pieces in an extreme amount of time. As soon as the invincibility effect wears off, the body immediately begins to suffer damage. Mizuki dodged again and left the center of the explosion. Call finally succeeded. Just now, Mizuki felt so blessed that he suddenly felt enlightened. After testing it, I succeeded in using the invincible flying thunder god instead of the ordinary flying thunder god. That moment of inspiration made him seem to have entered a new world. He didn't understand very much. What was that mysterious power like a protective shield? It seems that it can no longer be explained by ninjutsu. He couldn't figure it out, and he didn't bother to think about it. No matter what the principle is, just know it yourself. There is no need to delve into it too much. Of course, just because he succeeded once does not mean he has completely mastered it. You have to continue to practice until you succeed every time and make absolutely no mistakes, then you will have complete mastery. Next, Mizuki arranged more detonating talisman traps, distributed in different locations, and set up the flying thunder god spell on the traps. He caused the traps to activate every 0.5 seconds and then flashed them with flying thunder god. A trap exploded, and he happened to duck into the trap. Invincibility appears again. 0.5 seconds passed in the blink of an eye, the invincibility disappeared, another trap was activated, and he immediately flashed over. But this time, the protective shield did not appear, and he was blown to pieces. This time it failed. He did not expire and continued to dodge. Failure, failure, success, failure. At the beginning, the probability of success is not high, and failures often occur. If you flash 10 times, you can fail 8 or 9 times. But as he kept practicing, his chances of success became higher and higher. Advertisement. After spending 3 days and flashing no less than 300,000 times, he finally increased the success rate to over 99%. Occasionally it will fail once or twice, but it can be ignored. The price is that Mizuki dodges everything he looks at now. My brain feels a little dizzy, I walk a little unsteady, and my whole person feels a little uncomfortable. I went home and lay down in bed to rest, and fell asleep unconsciously. As a result, my dreams were flashing. Even when he woke up, he found that he was not at home, but in the wild. Good guy. Are the sequelae so serious? It took 2 days for him to finally recover. At this time, there are only the last 2 days left before the Chunin exam in Rock Shinobi Village. The border between Bird Country and Earth Country doesn't take much time to get to Rock Shinobi Village, but it's time to set off. This time we are going to Rock Shinobi Village to take the Chunin exam. Naruto, Hinata, and Shiro are in one group, and Neji, Gaara, and Nobita are in one group. I will lead the team myself, get ready and then follow me. Before leaving the village, Mizuki told Tsunade and others that if they encounter an irresolvable danger, they should immediately inject chakra into the flying thunder god technique. He will sense it immediately and fly back as soon as possible. Kushina, the layout of the barrier is up to you. Phoenix Village requires a perception enchantment. Like looking for Sasuke, the invincible flying thunder god has been successfully trained and it's time for revenge. These shadow clone were sent to Mount Myoboku. Mizuki originally planned to decorate it himself, but he really didn't have time, so he taught Kushina how to do it. After explaining everything, Mizuki set off with 6 little ghosts. Master Mizuki, just leave it to me to find out information, Naruto said. If this barrier is successfully deployed, finding Sasuke will be easy. The maximum range can cover the entire planet, and it can sense all life energy. There are no dead ends in the sea, land, air, and underground. No living creature can escape the perception of this barrier. It's definitely the best way to use it to find people. The super large sensory barrier is returned to Xiao Li. This barrier is extremely useful. Mizuki smiled, shook his head and said, these shadow clone are not sent out to find out information. After leaving the village, Mizuki scored dozens of shadow clone, and the next moment, these shadow clone disappeared. Shadow clone searched the entire ninja world, but there was no news about Sasuke and Shanglin. Old Toad of Mount Myoboku, bear my wrath and regret it. Unfortunately, it is not that easy to set up and maintain such a large barrier. I am afraid it will not be completed before the Chunin exam. Mizuki had no choice but to find another way. This barrier is used to defend the village and prevent foreign enemies from sneaking in, but it is really overkill. Chapter 127. Gamamaru's new plan. Mount Myoboku. In the temple, the great toad sage drinks a drink. If he hadn't been too old, he would have used a few female toads to dance the hula dance, singing and dancing at the same time. Hey, I missed the nightly singing when I was young. He sighed. It's a pity that I was careless and let Mizuki run away. Otherwise, why would other jojongs be abolished? At this moment, Fukasaku shouted outside the temple gate, "Master, we're here." "Well, come in." Toadmaru put down his wineglass. Fukasaku entered the temple and asked, "What do you want from us?" Gamamaru raised his hand, and several scrolls flew up from the table and landed in front of Fukasaku. "These are my newly made summoning scrolls. They don't have any Mount Myoboku logo on them. These are specially prepared for Mizuki. Now, call Jiraiya." Fukasaku immediately formed a seal, and with a bang, Jiraiya appeared. "Ah, great toad sage, Fukasaku-sama, why did you suddenly summon me to Mount Myoboku?" "I am not wearing any clothes." Jiraiya was sitting on the ground, shirtless, wearing nothing, and wet. He covered his lower body. "Can't you wait until I finish soaking in the hot spring? That girl I just met is so on point. It's only halfway through, and if I disappear suddenly, she will be scared. It's better to let me go back first and come back after finishing the work. It won't take long. At most half. No, an hour will be enough." Fukasaku rolled his eyes, jumped on Jiraiya's head, and slapped Jiraiya to the ground. "Little Jiraiya, please speak respectfully in front of the great toad sage. Don't be too big or too small." Gamamaru smiled slightly and said, "Jiraiya, you are still so lustful." "Okay, stop covering it. We are all males, so I'm sorry." Jiraiya's face was full of embarrassment. "What, you come to me, what's the matter?" Gamamaru said, "I came to you today because I have something to do with Mizuki and I need your help." "Mizuki?" Jiraiya frowned. Gamamaru said, "Mizuki's true identity is a ten-tails larva. His appearance represents a disaster. If it is not organized in advance, the ninja world will be destroyed by him." Jiraiya opened his mouth, looking confused. "Advertisement? No way, he destroyed the ninja world. I have been in contact with him, he doesn't look like that kind of person. He speaks in an unhurried manner, has a gentle face, and is friendly to others. He also often donates to orphanages. Even if he defected to Konoha, he was forced to have no choice. How could such a person destroy the ninja world?" Gamamaru said, "What you see is all his disguise. He is just paralyzing the people around him and making them lose their vigilance. His status as 10 tails means that he is destined to live in peace with the ninja world." Jiraiya frowned and asked, "What exactly are 10 tails?" Immediately afterwards, Gamamaru started talking about the arrival of the Otsutsuki clan thousands of years ago and planting 10 tails, and continued until Kaguya was sealed, and Hagoromo decomposed the 10 tails chakra into 9 parts to create the 9-tailed beasts. After hearing this, Jiraiya was also shocked. Mizuki can absorb the life force of living creatures, so he concluded that he is a 10 tails larva. The reason why he held back was because no one from the Otsutsuki clan accompanied him to protect him this time, so he did not dare to reveal his true form, let alone absorb the vitality of the ninja world unscrupulously. But his strength is increasing, and over time, no one will be able to control him. At that time, it will be time for him to reveal his true colors and destroy the ninja world. Although Jiraiya was still confused, he didn't think Gamamaru was lying to him. Ever since he first came to Mount Myoboku, he had become convinced of the Toad clan. Otherwise, he would not have searched for the Child of Destiny in the ninja world just because of a few prophecies from Gamamaru. He looked serious and said, "I wonder, great Toad Sage, what can I do? Mizuki is very strong. I personally think that I am not his opponent. But if I enter Sage mode, and with the help of the 2 immortals, I can fight him." Gamamaru shook his head and said, "No, Mizuki has too many tricks. Although Sage mode is strong, there is nothing you can do against him. Don't worry, I have a way to deal with him, just do as I say." It points to the summoning contract scroll on the ground. "These scrolls are my newly made summoning contract scrolls. Once you sign your name and press the Bloodhand seal, you will sign a summoning contract with my Mount Myoboku Toad clan." Jiraiya asked, "Isn't there a contract scroll? Why do you need to make a new one?" He picked up the scroll and looked at it. He looked around and found that this scroll was different from the old scroll. On the old scroll, there is the symbol of the Mount Myoboku clan, and it also states that it is the summoning contract of the Toad clan. Not available on these new reels. Gamamaru said, "These contract scrolls are prepared for Mizuki. As long as Mizuki signs the contract, I can use the reverse summoning technique to summon him to me. As long as he comes here, he will never be able to leave." Jiraiya looked at Gamamaru and said, "You are so old that you can't move anymore. How can you deal with Mizuki?" He looked suspicious. Fukasaku slapped Jiraiya again and said, "Don't underestimate me, he is very strong. Some time ago, Mizuki almost died at the hands of the big boss, but he narrowly escaped." Advertisement. Jiraiya nodded and said, "That's good. But how do you get Mizuki to sign a contract? He won't be easily fooled, right?" Gamamaru said, "If it were delivered directly to the door, of course Mizuki would not be fooled. But this time Rock Shinobi Village organized the Chunin exam, and Mizuki also took people to participate. This is a good opportunity. Konoha must also participate. In this way, the 5 major nations will gather together to organize the Chunin exam. This is an unprecedented event in the ninja world. There must be a winner or loser. The winning village will be rewarded. These scrolls are mixed in with the rewards, so the Phoenix village can get 1 or 2. After Mizuki gets the scroll, he will definitely not be able to help but investigate. As long as he signs the blood contract, I will feel it immediately and then summoning him over. By then, it will be his death. Jiraiya frowned and said, but Konoha has not been invited. If you take the initiative to go, it will be regarded as a provocation. Gamamaru said, the Chunin exam organized by Rock Shinobi Village this time is to test Mizuki's strength and prepare to deal with Mizuki. The reason why Konoha was not invited is because other villages suspected that Konoha and Mizuki were colluding. It's easy for Konoha to participate. As long as the information about Mizuki's abilities is provided to other villages, they will naturally no longer doubt it. The conspiracy in the temple ended soon. Jiraiya was instructed and left with the scroll. Each shadow clone raised his right hand, and the black and white chakra gathered in his palm, and violent power began to emerge. Not good. Suddenly, it raised its head and looked outside the temple door. Gamamaru sent Fukasaku away and continued to drink. But the next moment, it couldn't laugh anymore, because its invisible kunai didn't cause any damage when it attacked these shadow clones. Toad Wan's expression changed drastically. It was very calm and sprayed out 2 breaths of immortal energy, turning into a large number of invisible kunai and flying out. Haha, I don't have a long memory, here it comes again. Flashes every 0.5 seconds. Its perception has been covering the entire Mount Myoboku. At this time, he sensed that Mizuki's shadow clone passed through the entrance again and entered Mount Myoboku. While these kunai were flying, they split into a large number of shadow clone. For a time, Mount Myoboku was densely covered with kunai. At the same time, each shadow clone began to use Flying Thunder God, flashing one after another. Do you really think I can't wake up? Haha, it's still the same thing as before. I know it's useless, but I still use it. There is some kind of power around each shadow clone, blocking the piercing of kunai. Gamamaru's face was full of sarcasm. HMPH, 10 tails, the fruit of the sacred tree, I must get it. Dozens of Mizuki's shadow clone entered Mount Myoboku, 6 paths. Yin-Yang Rasengan has begun preparations. Chapter 128. Mount Myoboku is severely damaged. Gamamaru sits back and does nothing. What ninjutsu is this? No, this is beyond the scope of ninjutsu and I can't understand it at all. What the hell is this? Gamamaru was extremely shocked. Having lived for thousands of years, there is almost nothing it does not know or understand. But today in Mizuki, it saw something completely unfamiliar, or in other words, something beyond its cognition. Get him, I must get him. I have a hunch that if I can master this power, even without the fruit of the sacred tree, I can still break through the current realm. There was a strong look of greed on Tamamaru's face. Mizuki's shadow clone uses Flying Thunder God continuously to flash, once every 0.5 seconds, maintaining an invincible state without gaps. Occasionally, some shadow clone failed to enter the invincible state and dissipated after being hit by Gamamaru's attack, but most of them remained invincible. The Yin-Yang Rasengan in their hands took shape rapidly, and the terrifying power spread around. It only took less than 3 seconds. 6 paths. Yin-Yang Rasengan. All shadow clones smashed the Yin-Yang Rasengan in their hands to the ground. These Rasengan spin at high speeds, unleashing astonishing abilities without restraint. The invisible kunai densely packed in the space were torn apart before they even got close. In the temple, Gamamaru saw everything with a cold expression. There seemed to be no stopping it. This kind of Rasengan is as powerful as the 6 paths for the first time. To me, it's nothing. But if I want to stop it, I have to use all my strength. My old body can no longer withstand the torture. From low to high, ninjas are divided into Genin, Chunin, Special Jonin, Elite Jonin, Shadow, Super Shadow, and 6 paths. Hashirama and Madara are super shadows. Things like Hagoromo, 6 paths Obito, and 6 paths Madara belong to the 6 paths level. 6 paths level, that is, 6 paths mode, the most obvious thing is that horns will grow on the forehead and there will be a truth-seeking ball behind you. To reach 6 paths level, one must become 10 tails Jinchuriki. Of course, there are also differences among these 6 paths level experts. Otsutsuki Hagoromo, in addition to being a 10 tails Jinchuriki, also practices Senjutsu and is definitely the strongest among the 6 paths levels. 6 paths Madara is weaker than Hagoromo, and is also a 10 tails Jinchuriki. After absorbing Hashirama's Senjutsu power, Madara is close to Hagoromo, but is missing half a 9 tails. As for Obito, he is the weakest among the 6 paths. Whether they are ordinary ninjas or 6 paths level ninjas, they all use the chakra in their bodies to perform ninjutsu. It can be said that no matter how strong they are, they have a limit. But if the strength surpasses 6 paths and reaches a higher realm, it will be a different world. Gamamaru has been practicing for thousands of years and has surpassed the 6 paths and entered a new realm. No longer limited to using the chakra in the body to perform tricks. It has achieved this by controlling the natural forces of heaven and earth outside the body to use various means. After all, There is a limit to the amount of chakra the body can hold, and the power of a ninjutsu performed by a ninja cannot be infinitely powerful. But the power of heaven and earth is infinite. Using the power of heaven and earth to release ninjutsu will increase the destructive power beyond imagination. Advertisement: if I want to stop it, it's actually very simple. But it's a pity. Little ones, I hope you went to the Pure Land and don't blame me. It closed its eyes. 27 Mizuki's shadow clone, distributed in various locations on Mount Myoboku. The yin-yang Rasengan in their hands all smashed to the ground. Immediately afterwards, the shadow clone flew away, leaving the yin-yang Rasengan to spread its destructive power unbridled. Boom. 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 Along with the dazzling light and continuous explosions, Mount Myoboku shook violently. The plants on the ground were instantly flattened by the terrifying shockwave. The toads scattered throughout Mount Myoboku, those closest to the center of the explosion, were killed directly, with no hope of escape. Those who were far away barely escaped fatal disaster. After the explosion, the original Wonderland had become devastated. Looking down from a high altitude, you can see 27 huge sinkholes, which are comparable to meteor craters and are shocking. Mizuki's shadow clone sneered as they looked at the unrecognizable Mount Myoboku. They all turned their heads and looked at the temple on the mountain. Rinnegan has excellent eyesight. Through the temple door, he can see the old toad with its eyes closed and an ugly face inside. Gamamaru, this is the price you pay for provoking me. I, Mizuki, have always liked peace and never took the initiative to stir up trouble, but this does not mean that I am kind-hearted. I originally had a good impression of Mount Myoboku, but what a pity, what a pity. The next moment, all shadow clones were automatically released and disappeared into white smoke. On the border between the Kingdom of Birds and the Kingdom of Earth, Mizuki and his party are on their way. Suddenly, Mizuki paused. He received the memory sent back by Shadow Clone, and a smile appeared on his lips. It's a pity that the old toad is too strong, otherwise I would be the first to kill it. After destroying Mount Myoboku, Mizuki got his revenge and felt much happier. The next step is the Chunin exam. Naruto and Nobita must pass the exam to become Chunin. And Naruto's 3 returns this month must be carefully considered. When they reached the border between the two countries, Mizuki raised his hand and motioned for everyone to stop. Ahead is the Kingdom of Earth. We are here to take the exam, so we should follow the rules. If you break in rashly, it will be regarded as a provocation and cause unnecessary trouble. Mizuki takes this Chunin exam very seriously, so he will never allow any accidents to happen. Since obeying the rules can avoid trouble, then follow them. We are waiting here. The border patrol ninjas from the Earth Kingdom will come to greet you soon. Several people found conspicuous places and stood and sat. At this moment, Naruto suddenly paused and his expression changed slightly. Mizuki turned around and glanced without asking anything. He knew that this was what happened when the Shadow Clone was released and memories poured in. Advertisement: although Naruto came to take the Chunin exam, he left some Shadow Clones in Phoenix Village, some to guard and some to practice. Master, I learned it. Naruto turned his head and said happily. Mizuki was stunned and asked, what have you learned? Naruto said, I have mastered the secret technique of heavenly resentment and you. Mizuki. Good guy, is it so fast? It's only been less than half a month, and he learned quickly because of the Liushan flower dew. Naruto didn't use toilet water, just relied on Shadow Clone, and he was so fast. I have to say that practicing with Shadow Clone is really buggy. This method can only be used by Naruto. Originally, Mizuki thought that as long as there was enough chakra, he could withstand the side effects of releasing a large number of Shadow Clone. But he tried it later and found that was not the case. He has more chakra than Naruto's, but once a large number of Shadow Clones are summoned and released, he can't even handle it. Although he can't die, it is extremely uncomfortable. So he guessed that the reason why Naruto could withstand the side effects of Shadow Clone was not because of the large amount of chakra. Perhaps, it has something to do with his identity, the reincarnation of Ashura, the body of an immortal. This is something Mizuki would never envy. Master, look. Naruto stretched his right hand towards a nearby tree, and then his right hand turned into liquid and invaded the bark of the tree. Mizuki looked up and saw that the leaves of this tree were beginning to turn yellow at a speed visible to the naked eye. The life force in the tree was sucked into Naruto's body. Not bad, Naruto, you are indeed a genius. Mizuki was very happy. In this way, Naruto's strength was directly improved qualitatively. Let alone the mere Chunin exam, he can handle even cage-level experts and even gain the upper hand. It's all thanks to your good teaching, Master. Naruto scratched his head, not taking credit at all. Master, I have learned the heavenly resentment you. I can go to Mount Myoboku and explain it to the Great Toad Sage. Mizuki smiled and said, it doesn't matter if I don't explain it or not. Of course, if you have to explain it, you can, but you can't do it in person. Naruto nodded and said, yes, I understand, I will send Shadow Clone. He simply forked a Shadow Clone and sent it to Mount Myoboku. The few people waited for a moment, and soon 4 rock shinobi came towards them, 1 Jonin and 3 Chunin. Ahead is the border of the Land of Earth. Are you people from Phoenix Village of the Land of Birds who came to take the Chunin exam? Jonin asked. Mizuki nodded and said, yes, I am Phoenix Village's first-generation Hokage Mizuki, and they are all genin who came to take the exam. The other party, Jonin, said, Please show me your invitation letter so we can confirm your identity. Mizuki took out the invitation and the other party walked in and took it. It is indeed first-generation Fengying, so please come with us. Next, we'll take you to Rock Shinobi Village, Mizuki said politely. In that case, I'll trouble you all. Chapter 129. Top executives from the 5 major villages gather together. Rock Shinobi Village in Earth Country. The village is surrounded by many rocky mountains and has an easy to defend but difficult to attack location. It is an excellent natural fortress. Mizuki and his party, led by Rock Shinobi, entered the village. At the same time, the top leaders of the 5 major countries gathered in the village conference room. There are 3 shadows among them. 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki, 4th Reikage I, 4th Mizukage Terumi Mei. Konoha and San Shinobi Village were nowhere to be seen. Konoha is represented by Jiraiya, and Orochimaru is in such a state that he doesn't even dare to go out, let alone attend the 5-Kage conference. As for San Shinobi Village, since the death of 4th Kazekage, various factions in San Shinobi Village have been vying for the position of Kazekage. No one compromises, and everyone's strength is evenly matched. This has resulted in that no suitable candidate for Kazekage has been selected. Baki is a powerful elite Jonin of San Shinobi Village. He came to the meeting as a representative this time with the idea of competing for the position of Kazekage. As long as there are gains this time, his voice will definitely grow when he returns, and it is certain that he will become the 5th Kazekage. It was very quiet in the conference room. The atmosphere does not seem to be very harmonious. The 5 major countries have experienced several ninja wars, and the relationship between them is not good. When we get together, no one cares about anyone else. The most calm one is 3rd Tsuchikage. After all, this is the kingdom of Earth, his territory, the whole village belongs to him, and he is least afraid of accidents. Next is Jiraiya, who has a bold personality, is talented and bold, and is confident in himself. He also brought 2 masters, Kakashi and Guy, and a team of Anbu, so he was not afraid. The most important thing is that he feels that there will definitely not be a fight here. The top leaders of the 5 major countries gathered together. This is the second time such a high-level gathering has occurred since the establishment of the 5 major ninja villages. Although Ono Wooden Golem is short, his momentum is not weak. As the host, he was the first to speak. Last time, it was the first-generation Kages who were invited by first Hokage Senju Hashirama to hold a 5-Kage conference in Konoha to discuss the future of the ninja world. Hee. At this point, Onoki couldn't help laughing. Senju Hashirama had a dark history of kowtowing to the other 4 Kages in order to send the tailed beast away. He had heard his ancestor Tsuchikage tell it many times. Advertisement. Everyone looked at Onoki, wondering what he was laughing at, and everyone became a little nervous. Onoki's laughter made everyone feel terrified. Isn't it about taking action? This is Rock Shinobi Village. If we take action, the consequences will be disastrous. Onoki realized his gaffe, coughed twice hurriedly, and said, "Don't be nervous, I just thought of happy things. This time we gather, I can guarantee that Rock Shinobi Village will never do anything to threaten your safety, behavior. Because we have a common enemy, the purpose of our distance here is also to deal with Mizuki." Mizuki used arrogant means to collect tailed beasts, completely ignoring the 5 major ninja villages. His purpose must also be to conquer the entire ninja world. This dangerous behavior must be stopped, so today we have gathered everyone together. Wait a minute. 4th Reikage forcibly interrupted Onoki's speech. Onoki frowned and said, "Young people don't know how to care and respect the elderly. It's very impolite to interrupt others at will." Reikage didn't care about Onoki's words at all, but pointed at Jiraiya and his party and asked, "Didn't you agree that Konoha is not included in the invitation? Why are they here?" Jiraiya smiled and said, "The Chunin exam organized by Rock Shinobi Village was Konoha's initiative to participate. Konoha and everyone's purpose is the same." Reikage turned to look at Onoki, with doubts in his eyes. 3rd Tsuchikage, people in your village said at the time that Konoha and Mizuki were in the same group. Why would you now agree to Konoha's participation in the Chunin exam? Onoki said, "Originally, I did think that Mizuki's defection to Konoha was a conspiracy by Konoha. But the news Konoha brought this time made me deny my previous judgment. Konoha is prepared to provide detailed information on Mizuki, including his various ninja abilities." Everyone looked at Jiraiya, who immediately said, "Mizuki killed 3rd Hokage, abducted 9 Tails Jinchuriki, and caused serious damage to Konoha several times. Konoha has long been determined to kill Mizuki. In addition, I also got definite information. Mizuki's true identity is more terrifying than we imagined. I can tell you that Mizuki's collection of tailed beasts is not to unify the ninja world. It is to destroy the ninja world and make the entire ninja world turned into a place of death." Everyone frowned after hearing this. What the hell? Why does it get more and more mysterious the more you talk about it? He also destroyed the ninja world. If the ninja world was destroyed, what good would it do to him, Mizuki? Can you elaborate? Terumi Mei asked. Jiraiya nodded and told everything he knew, starting from the time when 10 Tails came to the ninja world in ancient times. Soon, everyone understood. Hiss, is Mizuki's background so big? Fortunately, we discovered it early, otherwise we would be dead when his conspiracy succeeds. Onoki stood up in shock and took a deep breath. The other people all had different expressions, some believed it and some doubted it. Advertisement. Whether it's true or not, we are so close this time. When he comes, we will find an opportunity to kill him directly and there will be no worries. Reikage slapped the table with his big hand and said loudly. Terumi Mei said, yes, didn't Konoha bring detailed information about Mizuki? We will formulate a careful assassination plan based on his abilities and kill him in one fell swoop. Jiraiya shook his head and said, it's useless. Mizuki is so strong and has such weird abilities. It's impossible for us to kill him. It's a joke, we are all the top beings in the ninja world. As long as we find a chance, any one of us can kill him with a ninjutsu. Jiraiya still shook his head and said, don't rush to talk big. When you know Mizuki's ability, you will know how terrifying he is. Jiraiya raised his hand to signal, and an Anbu behind him immediately distributed the prepared scrolls to everyone. The conference room became quiet again. Everyone looked at Mizuki's ability information. The more they looked at it, the uglier their faces became. Space Ninjutsu. Transformation. Space Ninjutsu Flying Thunder God, S-level Ninjutsu Rasen Shuriken, 6 paths level Rasengan that transcends ordinary ninjutsu levels. Left Eye Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, powerful genjutsu, Susanoo, and the person stared at by it cannot cast any ninjutsu. The Rinnegan in the right eye has the ability to reincarnate into 6 paths. The heavenly path controls gravity and repulsion. The human path extracts souls to explore memories. And the heretic path can resurrect the dead. As 10 tails, he can turn into liquid and swallow the life force of animals and plants. The more I watch, the more frightened I become, and the more I watch, the more terrifying it becomes. Fourth Reikage thought of some bad memories. Flying Thunder God technique, how does this kill? Like the original 4th Hokage, he mastered the space and time ninjutsu. It is too difficult to kill such a person. By the way, how did the original 4th Hokage die at the hands of 9 tails? We can refer to it. Onoki looked at Jiraiya. Jiraiya's face twitched slightly and said, it's useless. The 4th generation died because of his wife. And Mizuki can even kill his fiancée with his own hands. Such a person cannot threaten him. But don't worry, I have a way to kill him, Jiraiya said, taking out the summoning blood contract scroll brought back from Mount Myoboku. This is the summoning blood contract of the Mount Myoboku Toad clan. As long as Mizuki signs this blood contract, he will definitely die. I had already planned the specific operation method before coming here. Now please refer to it together. At the same time, Mizuki and his party entered Rock Shinobi Village and walked down the street. Oncoming were several acquaintances. Konoha's Xiao Li, every day. Chapter 130. Xiao Li faced 8 trigrams 64 palms without any injuries. Leaf Hurricane. Xiao Li shouted loudly. He had already teleported in front of Mizuki, jumped into the air, and launched a high-speed roundhouse kick towards Mizuki's head. Li. Everyone exclaimed. No one expected that Xiao Li would be so straightforward, without saying a word, and just take action right away. 8 trigrams palms Revolving Heaven. Neji reacted quickly and stood directly in front of Mizuki to cast Revolving Heaven. Gaara is also preparing to control the sand to block Xiao Li. But Mizuki waved his hand and said calmly, relax, there is no need to take action. As a result, as soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Li's roundhouse kick arrived. With a snap sound, Mizuki's neck was broken and blood spurted out. His head fell to the ground and rolled around several times, and the blood stained the ground red. This scene immediately stunned everyone. Everyone in the Phoenix Village group, except Naruto, was stunned. Hinata's face turned pale with fright. The people in Rock Shinobi Village also stared wide-eyed. Isn't it? Mizuki, the legendary super strong man who killed the 3rd Hokage and the 4th Kazekage, is just like that, gone? Rock Lee, why did you do this? Neji started with 8 trigrams palms and attacked Xiao Li. Xiao Li said loudly. Mizuki killed the 3rd Hokage, caused damage to Konoha several times, and killed many villagers. He also used evil ninjutsu to control you, so that you have to join the village he created. He is an uncompromising person. The unbuttoned B*****************. D. Now that I will kill him, you can get rid of his ninjutsu control and you can return to Konoha. From now on, we will still be companions. Neji said. Lee, you don't understand at all, Mizuki is not what you think at all. Neji directly used 8 trigrams 64 palms, but Xiao Li was able to dodge easily within Neji's 8 trigrams field as if he knew Neji's intentions. No matter which angle Neji attacks from, Xiao Li can easily dodge it. This is impossible. Neji looked ugly. Xiao Li was once his teammate, and he knew exactly how strong he was. But today he discovered that this former partner seemed to have changed. After 64 slaps, Xiao Li didn't hit any of them. Instead, he looked at Neji seriously. It seems that you have been brainwashed by him and bewitched your mind. In this case, I will wake you up. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Li punched Neji through the air. A surprising scene happened. His fist detached directly from his wrist, was connected by a black tentacle, and came to Neji at an extremely fast speed. Revolving Heaven. The fist was blocked by Revolving Heaven. The battle between the two was indistinguishable for a while. At this time, Naruto took a few steps forward, came to Neji's side, and said, let me do it. Although he can't kill Master Mizuki, he killed Master. That is unforgivable and must be taught a lesson. Naruto had an extra flying thunder god kunai in his hand. Just then, Mizuki's voice sounded. Stop! Everyone was shocked and looked at Mizuki's head on the ground. They saw Mizuki's eyes open, his expression vivid and his face rosy. How did it look like a dead man's head? Is it a genjutsu? No, no, this is not a genjutsu at all. The ninjas of Rock Shinobi Village were filled with fear. Only Naruto knew that this was not a genjutsu at all. Advertisement under the horrified gazes of everyone, Mizuki's headless body took steps forward, walked to the head, bent down, picked up the head, and placed it on his neck again. This is not a human ninjutsu at all. You won't die even if your head falls off. What kind of technique is this? Mizuki rolled his neck, glanced at Xiao Li, and said to the rock shinobi next to him, "Let's go, take us to our residence." Gaara pointed at Xiao Li and asked, "What should he do? Otherwise, I will kill him." Mizuki shook his head. "No need." Xiao Li looked at Mizuki in shock and asked, "Why aren't you angry at all? I obviously took action against you." Mizuki smiled lightly. "What adult would get angry with a child? Your attack is not even a tickling to me." Mizuki is not willing to take action against Xiao Li. He is an apprentice recognized by the system and can be given a refund. If it were anyone else, they would have died 100 times over. Not only will Mizuki not take action against Xiao Li, but he will also find ways to help him complete the Chunin exam and become a Chunin. Mizuki led the people away, leaving a few people in Konoha standing there and still not reacting. Mount Myoboku, Naruto's shadow clone, came in from the entrance, and what he saw was devastation. What happened here? Master did it. Naruto immediately guessed that Mizuki did it. He shook his head and sighed. Hey, it's all a misunderstanding. It's really bad that it's like this. I have to explain the matter clearly quickly, and it's best to resolve the conflicts between the two parties. He soon arrived outside the temple door and shouted, "Great Toad Sage, I am Naruto." Gamamaru's voice came from inside the door. "Come in." Naruto walked into the temple door and picked a small mushroom growing at the door. After entering, he went straight to the topic. "Great Toad Sage, let me tell you, Master Mizuki is not a ten-tails larva at all. The reason why he is able to swallow the vitality of animals and plants is because he has practiced a secret called TNUU technique." Gamamaru frowned. "Impossible, I have never heard of the ten-tails larva or anything. Little Naruto, don't believe Mizuki, he is deceiving you when he says this. He is the ten-tails larva, and he can't be wrong." Naruto didn't explain, he just showed the mushroom in his hand. "Please look." The mushroom shriveled up at a speed visible to the naked eye and turned into dust in the blink of an eye. The weak life force contained in it was swallowed up by Naruto, the shadow clone. Gamamaru's eyes suddenly widened and he stared blankly at the dust on Naruto's hands. A bright light burst out in his eyes, but he restrained himself in a moment. It turned out to be a secret effect. From this point of view, I really blamed Mizuki wrongly. Hey, I am really confused, Naruto, you should forgive me, right? Naruto nodded. Well, of course I will forgive you. It was all a misunderstanding. It's really great that the misunderstanding is lifted now. Gamamaru said, yes, it's really good, Rock Shinobi Village. What happened on the street was quickly reported to the conference room. The content was extremely detailed, and not even a word of the conversation was missed. Advertisement. If your head falls off, you can still pick it up and put it back on. Is this the horror of 10 tails? Terumi Mei's face turned pale, frightened. Not just her, everyone was frightened. Tsuchikage Onoki and Reikage were both thankful in their hearts. They were thankful that they had not been impulsive and direct before. Such a weird method is simply beyond the control of humans. It is absolutely impossible to kill him with the help of our 5 major nations. From this point of view, we can only rely on Mount Myoboku. Although 4th Reikage has a bad temper, but at this moment, we have to face reality. Wait. Jiraiya suddenly stood up and shouted. What's wrong? Onoki asked with a frown. Jiraiya looked at the Rock Shinobi who came to report and asked, did you just say that Mizuki's blood was all over the floor? Rock Shinobi nodded. Indeed. Jiraiya clapped his hands and laughed. Ha ha ha, no need to bother to lure him into signing the summoning blood contract. The people present were all smart people, and they understood it as soon as they heard it. That's right, you really don't have to worry about it, Onoki also laughed, turned around and ordered. Go and collect some Mizuki's blood immediately and bring it here. Rock Shinobi immediately set off after hearing this, and soon arrived at the street where Mizuki was bleeding just now. The bright red blood on the ground has not completely solidified. The Rock Shinobi immediately took a piece of gauze and spread it on the ground. The gauze was stained red with blood. Seeing that it was almost done, he took the gauze and used the teleportation technique to rush towards the conference room. Tsuchikage-sama, Mizuki's blood has been obtained. Jiraiya urged. Bring it to me quickly. Onoki nodded, and Rock Shinobi gave the gauze to Jiraiya's hand. With a smile on his face, Jiraiya unfolded a contract scroll and prepared to help Mizuki sign the summoning blood contract. Once the signing is successful, the Great Toad Sage will immediately sense it. Just use the reverse summoning technique to summon Mizuki to Mount Myoboku and then kill it. He wrote Mizuki's name on the scroll, then dipped his hand in Mizuki's blood and pressed it towards the scroll. Mizuki, who had been taken to his residence, had no idea that danger was about to come. Naruto, come here with me. Mizuki took Naruto aside alone. Master, what's going on? Naruto asked. Mizuki took out a test tube, which contained an eyeball, the Rinnegan that he had taken from Obito. I thought about this eye over and over again, and finally felt that it is best to give it to you. Only you, as a member of the Uzumaki clan, can control this eye. Take it. When you go back, let Tsunade help you transplant it. Your strength will be greatly improved again. Naruto wanted to refuse, but Mizuki had already thrust the test tube into his hand, refusing to allow him to refuse. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Hearing the sound, Mizuki's lips curled up. My right eye is already a Rinnegan, and Obito's eye is the right eye, so the system will definitely return the right eye. Adding the right eye to the right eye, is it a replacement? Or a superposition? Mizuki is full of expectations. Chapter 131, Golden Rinnegan, Eye Technique Kamui. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host grants the disciple Uzumaki Naruto a right eye Rinnegan, triggering a 1000 times return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations host, your right eye Rinnegan has evolved into a golden Rinnegan, and you have gained the eye technique Kamui. Close black lens bracket. Your body can enter the hollow state. After hollow, it ignores any attacks in real space. Each hollow lasts up to 30 minutes. Close black lens bracket. You can enter the Kamui space at will and suck objects into it. In the hollow state, you can also suck any object except yourself into the Kamui space. Close black lens bracket. With the blessing of the golden Rinnegan, your nerve reaction speed and physical strength are strengthened 1000 times. Close black lens bracket. A smile appeared on Mizuki's face. Kamui got it. Kamui is definitely a magical skill. With Kamui, Obito can come and go with ease, without any disadvantage. If he wasn't careless, it would be impossible for Mizuki to deal with Obito. But now, Mizuki can also play Kamui, and his survivability has immediately increased several times. Last time at Mount Myoboku, if I had Kamui, I wouldn't be so passive. Try the effect. The next moment, Mizuki enters the hollow state, and his body no longer collides with surrounding objects. He started walking through the floor, through the table, through the wall. This is not over yet. He came to the wild as a flying thunder god and released the great fireball technique towards the ground. The next moment he was enveloped in fire, but in the hollow state, he did not suffer any damage. It's really a magical skill. Mizuki was very satisfied. Look at Kamui's space again. After exiting the hollow, a space vortex appeared in his right eye, his body twisted and he was sucked in. The absorption speed is much faster than Obito. The dark sky, surrounded by cubic stones, looks very monotonous. The space is huge, it can be used as a very large prison. After a few glances, he no longer cared. Anyway, this is his personal space now. Obito's body is still here. The Hashirama cells in his body may be useful. Mizuki separated hundreds of shadow clone and spread out to search for Obito's body. Mizuki's body exited the Kamui space and continued to experiment with the effects of the new Rinnegan. In addition to gaining the pupil technique Kamui, the golden Sharingan will also strengthen my nerve reaction speed 1000 times. This is another great improvement for me. Nervous reaction speed varies from person to person. Most people are similar, but there are always some who are gifted and have particularly fast nervous reactions. Like Namikaze Minato, this kind of person is, without exaggeration, a unique fighting genius. When they fight, they always react faster than others. You are always more at ease when dealing with enemy attacks and seizing opportunities to attack. It may be just 0.1 seconds faster, but it is these 0.1 seconds that determine the victory of the battle and the death of the enemy. Then, let's try it. He tested his strength first. He came to a stone and estimated that it weighed not 10 but 8 tons. He hugged the stone with both hands, exerted force, and then saw that the stone was easily lifted by him. Advertisement, ha ha ha. After practicing immortality, entering Sage Mode will greatly increase your strength, and my current strength in normal state is comparable to Sage Mode. If I master the magic later, it will be even more powerful. The strength has been tested, and the next step is the speed of nerve response. At this time, Mount Myoboku, Naruto's shadow clone, was still in the temple. Little Naruto, have you seen the wine on the table? This wine is secretly made by my Toad clan. Drinking it can increase your affinity to the power of nature. With just one mouthful, you will be able to successfully practice your magical skills immediately. If you can take 3 sips, you can achieve perfect Sage Mode. If you drink a pot, you can achieve permanent Sage Mode, like Sage of 6 Paths. If you teach me Tenyu, I will give you a pot. In addition, I also allow you to bring your relatives and friends to Mount Myoboku to practice immortal arts. How about it? This deal is a good deal, right? Naruto shook his head. No, Grandpa Immortal. Tenyu was taught to me by my master. Without his consent, I cannot tell others at will. Besides, I'm not an adult yet, so I can't drink. As a ninja, I must abide by the 3 ninja taboos. If my mother knew that I dared to drink, she would definitely beat me to death. Gamaru frowned. It raised its hand and held up 2 fingers. I'll give you 2 pots. 2 bottles of wine are enough for you and your mother to become permanent Sage Mode. Naruto shook his head. 3 pots are enough, right? Gamamaru's tone was a little impatient. Naruto still didn't agree. Hey, Gamamaru sighed. In that case, I won't say anything about exchanging wine. As Tamamaru spoke, he suddenly made a frog sound. Quack. Naruto, who heard the sound, immediately became confused and fell into a genjutsu. Little Naruto, tell me all the methods of practicing the Heavenly Resentment U secret technique. Gamamaru's face was filled with unabashed anticipation and ecstasy. As long as it learns the heavenly resentment U, it can absorb the vitality of other creatures. Its old body can return to its youthful state. It can leave the temple, walk out of Mount Myoboku, unseal the Otsutsuki Kagaya and devour it, find the Otsutsuki Ashiki and get the 10 tails in Ichiki's hand, and plant new sacred tree fruits. By then, it will be more powerful than ever. There are any other Taoshiki, Urashiki, Jinshiki. They will all be swallowed up by me. My strength will be close to that of God, and I, the Toad Clan, will regain our ancestral land and return to the top of the world. At this time, in the illusion, Naruto discovered that he was being tested by Mizuki for training. Naruto, you are the only one who has mastered the heavenly resentment U. You may not be familiar with it. I will test you today. Now, dictate TNUU's cultivation method. I want to see if there are any mistakes. Naruto said loudly. Master, I have memorized it completely, and I will recite it to you now. He began to recite the secret technique of TNUU's practice. As everyone knows, all of this is an illusion created by Todemaru. Gamamaru retracted his mind and listened intently to Naruto's recitation. Advertisement. It also took out a scroll and listened to it while recording it without missing a word. But Naruto was only halfway through speaking when suddenly there was a bang, and the shadow clone was released. Why so fast? Gamamaru looked ugly. Looking at the TNUU cultivation method that was only half recorded on the scroll, Gamamaru felt extremely bad. Hateful. Rock Shinobi Village. Naruto received the memory picture sent back after the shadow clone was released, and felt a little confused. What's going on? Master Mizuki is clearly in Rock Shinobi Village. Why does he appear at Mount Myoboku? You also tested my practice and made me bear the blame for the practice method. What's going on? He was so nervous that he didn't realize that the images sent back by Shadow Clone were experiences in the illusion. It's better to go find the master. The recitation just now is not finished yet. You have to go to the master to finish it. He knocked on Mizuki's door. Master, are you there? Mizuki had finished testing the new Rinnegan and returned to the house. Come in. Naruto entered the room and said, Master, the recitation test just now was only halfway through. Shadow Clone was automatically released. I will finish the rest. Mizuki was stunned and asked, what recitation test? Naruto. At Mount Myoboku just now, Master, you asked my Shadow Clone to recite the training methods of Tangyu. Oh, I know, the one at Mount Myoboku is also Master's Shadow Clone. Mizuki immediately realized something was wrong. Naruto, tell me everything about Mount Myoboku. Naruto scratched his head and said, it's actually nothing. I went to Mount Myoboku and met with Grandpa Great Toad Sage and clarified the misunderstanding. Grandpa Great Toad Sage also said that he would find an opportunity to apologize to you in person. Later, Grandpa Great Toad Sage said he would trade wine for Heavenly Resentment U's cultivation method, but I didn't agree. I'm not even an adult yet, how can I drink? Mizuki sneered inwardly. What an old toad, he actually coveted TNU and wanted to deceive a child with wine. Shameless. Master, let me tell you, drinking Grandpa Great Toad Sage's wine can improve the progress of Sage Mode's cultivation. With 1 sip, you can achieve immortality immediately. With 3 sips, you can achieve perfect Sage Mode. With 1 pot, you can achieve permanent Sage Mode. Mizuki's eyes lit up and he asked, are you telling the truth? Naruto scratched his head and said, what Grandpa Great Toad Sage said, I don't know if it's true. Later, Master, you appeared and asked me to recite TNUU's cultivation method. My Shadow Clone only recited it to normal, and then it was automatically released. Mizuki touched Naruto's head and said with a smile, it's good, it's good. Naruto, you are not me at all, you are under the illusion of Gamamaru. It wants to use this to get TNUU's cultivation method. Thank you for your Shadow Clone's time, otherwise he would have learned it. Naruto's expression changed. Although he was not smart, when Mizuki said this, he immediately understood. Why is it like this? Naruto's young and innocent heart was shocked. At this moment, Mizuki suddenly felt the surrounding space change. The next moment, his body disappeared from the spot. Chapter 132. Back to Mount Myoboku, the threat of Gamamaru. Master? Naruto looked at the dissipating white smoke in front of him with confusion. The special effects of Flying Thunder God are not like this. This seems to be summoning technique. Has the master been summoned by the summoning beast? I remember Nobita said that Master and the Meow Star's extraordinary Ninja Cat clan concluded a summoning blood contract. Master was probably taken away by the summoning Ninja Cat to help fight. Naruto had confidence in Mizuki's strength and did not think Mizuki would be in danger. In the Rock Shinobi conference room, Jiraiya took his hand away from the scroll. On the scroll, a bloody handprint is clearly visible. The contract has been formed. I didn't expect it to be so easy. Jiraiya breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. Yes, in order to get Mizuki to sign the contract, we made so many careful plans, but we didn't expect that before the plan started to be implemented, Mizuki fell into the trap. Onoki looked happy. Everyone else nodded and smiled. Jiraiya continued. The contract is formed, and the Great Toad Sage will sense it immediately. Mizuki may have been reverse summoned to Mount Myoboku. Onoki immediately waved, and Anbu immediately set off to find out if Mizuki was still in Rock Shinobi Village. At the same time, the atmosphere in the conference room became subtle. With a slight smile on his face, Onoki greeted, The news will be confirmed soon. Everyone, relax, drink tea, everyone drink tea. But the village leaders did not carry the teacups on the table. After all, this is Rock Shinobi's territory, and they came here to deal with Mizuki. Now Mizuki is likely to be counter-summoned by the Great Toad Sage and will definitely die. The powerful enemy is gone, and internal conflicts are likely to break out next. It concerns the distribution of tailed beasts and their own safety, and no one dares to take it lightly. The conference room became quiet, and for a while, you could hear a needle drop. Hokage crossed his arms and closed his eyes to rest, but it could be seen from his slightly moving eyelids that his heart was not at peace. Mizuki Tsurumi Mei is trimming her nails. Behind her, the white-eyed ninja owl looks wary and looks around from time to time. Jiraiya didn't have any nervousness, he was very talented and bold. Behind him, Kakashi, Guy and others were all tense. In comparison, Baki from Sand Shinobi Village has the worst mentality. He was seen sitting upright, even putting his hands under the table in a defensive posture. Soon, Anbu sent back the news. Mizuki is indeed no longer in Rock Shinobi Village. Onoki stood up with a smile and said, "Everyone, we can talk about the redistribution of tailed beasts next. First of all, let me make it clear that Konoha deserves the greatest credit for being able to kill Mizuki this time. If it weren't for the summoning blood contract scroll Konoha brought, it would be extremely difficult for us to deal with Mizuki. And I, Rock Shinobi Village, organized the Chunin exams and facilitated Mizuki's execution, so Rock Shinobi also deserves some credit. As for Cloud Shinobi Village, Mist Shinobi Village, and Sand Shinobi Village, you are useless, so you are not worthy of a split-tailed beast. The tailed beasts of Phoenix Village should be divided between Rock Shinobi Village and Konoha Village. There are 9 tailed beasts. There are 6 in Phoenix Village, namely 1 tail, 2 tails, 3 tails, 4 tails, 7 tails, and 9 tails. In my opinion, 1 tail, 2 tails, 3 tails, 7 tails, and 9 tails belong to Konoha, and 4 tails belongs to me, Rock Shinobi Village. Anamu's words are not surprising and he will never stop. Advertisement, bang. Hokage hit the table with his palm, stood up, pointed at Onoki and cursed, "Old man, you are talking in your sleep." As he spoke, Chakra began to fill his body, and he looked like he was about to take action if he had a disagreement. Mizuki Tsurumi Mei sneered again and again, "Old man Tsuchikage, although you are old, the distribution of tailed beasts is not yours alone." Baki of Sand Shinobi also expressed his position. "We at Sand Shinobi Village will never agree with this distribution method." Onoki laughed, turned to look at Jiraiya, and asked, "Jiraiya, what do you think of my distribution method?" All eyes were focused on Jiraiya. Although Jiraiya is not weak, he also feels tremendous pressure. Of course, he would never fall for such a trivial trick. If he dared to agree, Cloud Shinobi, Mist Shinobi, and Sand Shinobi would definitely not agree, and would even attack him in groups. So I can never agree. The distribution of the 9-tailed beasts was negotiated by the first-generation Kage. Changing it at will would be disrespectful to the ancestors. Therefore, I feel that the previous distribution method should not be changed. I, Konoha, only need 9 tails. After Jiraiya finished speaking, everyone looked away from him, which made him feel relieved. If it were Danzo, he might not be able to bear the huge temptation of the 5-headed tailed beast, but he, Jiraiya, is not that stupid, nor is he that ambitious. Onoki sighed in his heart. His purpose is to make Konoha a target of public criticism, triggering a battle between the 4 villages, and then Rock Shinobi can reap the benefits. It's a pity that Jiraiya was not fooled. In that case, let's discuss it again. Konoha only needs 9 tails, so I, Rock Shinobi, can only have 4 tails, and must add 1 more 7 tails. After all, my contribution this time, Rock Shinobi, is greater than that of your 3 villages. Hokage immediately shouted. No, 7 tails belongs to Taki Nin Village, Rock Shinobi cannot occupy it. It should be given to us Cloud Shinobi. On our way back to the village, we will pass by Taki Nin Village and return 7 tails to them. Tsurumi Mei. No matter what else, 3 tails belongs to the Mist Ninja Village, and it cannot be changed this time. The meeting room immediately became lively. Mount Myoboku, in the temple, after a burst of white smoke, Mizuki made a shining appearance. Why am I here? Looking at Gamamaru in front of him, he was filled with doubts. Gamamaru was condescending, with a smile on his face. That huge toad mouth, Kakuzu grinned to the back of his head. Mizuki, you didn't expect that. I let you run away last time, but this time, you have no chance. Mizuki asked. What did you do to me? I was clearly in Rock Shinobi Village. Why did you suddenly appear here? Gamamaru explained. Because you have signed a summoning blood contract with my clan, Mount Myoboku. Summoning blood contract. Mizuki couldn't understand. When did I sign a blood contract with your Toad clan? Halfway through his words, Mizuki realized something. Could it be the blood from being kicked by Xiao Li before? Gamamaru smiled and said, It seems that you already know, but it's a pity that it's too late. Since you are here today, don't even think about escaping again. Do you still remember the feeling of having the power of nature pouring into your body? Advertisement. You managed to escape last time using Izanagi. This time, you can't do it again. Gamamaru looked at Mizuki, trying to see the panic expression on Mizuki's face. It's a pity that it was destined to be a disappointment, because Mizuki didn't panic at all. Mizuki looked at Gamamaru and said with a smile, In that case, why don't you do it yet? HMPH. Gamamaru snorted coldly and said, stop pretending, you must be scared to death. Don't worry, I already know that you are not a ten-tails larva, so I have lost interest in you. I am very interested in the secret technique you practice called TNUU. If you give this secret technique to me, I will let you go. What do you think of this deal? Mizuki chuckled and said, you really want to get Tien when you only got half of it from Naruto just now, and you immediately set your sights on me. Unfortunately, you are destined to be disappointed this time. Gamamaru stared at Mizuki and said, if you don't give it to me, you'll never leave here. I have set up a barrier here. The time and space ninjutsu is ineffective. You can't escape. It's better to listen to my words and hand over TNUU. Mizuki shook his head. The next moment, his feet sank beneath the ground. Gamamaru's eyes widened and he asked in shock. What's going on? Why is your body not in this space? The space is obviously blocked by a barrier. Why can you still use time and space ninjutsu? Then it thought of something and exclaimed. This is Uchiha Obito's hollow. How can you do it too? Mizuki had no explanation. In fact, when he was reversed summoning just now, he had already noticed something was wrong and turned on Kamui immediately. He is now invincible. No matter how many tricks Gamamaru uses, he will not be affected. Summoning a blood contract? If you don't tell me, I haven't realized it yet. The bloody handprint disappeared. You have signed a summoning blood contract with our clan. Even if you escape now, I can summon you back. Old guy, you have nothing to do with me, right? Mizuki smiled. But he is already hollow and can continue to maintain his condition. So what if you hollow? So what if I can't threaten you for the time being? Mizuki smiled mysteriously. Gamamaru frowned and said, what do you mean? A blood contract requires blood as a medium, so what if the blood disappears? The smile on Tamamaru's face disappeared. No one noticed that the fresh blood handprints on the contract scroll in front of Jiraiya were fading quickly. The bright red blood turned into transparent liquid and flowed away. After arriving at Mount Myoboku, his body was already in hollow state, although the surrounding space was blocked and he could not use time and space ninjutsu. The hollow has a duration. You can't stay in the hollow state forever. When you leave the hollow, you will be at my mercy. At the same time, everyone was still arguing in the Rock Shinobi Village conference room, which was very lively. Mizuki began to taunt. Chapter 133. Trapped on Mount Myoboku, How to Escape. In the Mount Myoboku temple, Gamamaru looked at Mizuki whose body was liquefied, his eyes filled with fire. The secret technique of heavenly resentment I will learn it soon. Mizuki's body only liquefies for a few seconds before returning to its human form. He smiled and said, old man, let's see if there is still a summoning contract between me and your Toad clan. Hearing what Mizuki said, Gamamaru had a bad feeling in his heart. It sensed it immediately, and then its expression changed drastically. How can this be? In its perception, there were only 2 contracted ninjas from the Toad clan. A Jiraiya. Contractual ties are very strong. The other is Uzumaki Naruto. Due to the influence of the contract seal, the contract connection is very weak, but it still exists. There were supposed to be 3 people, and Mizuki was one of them. But now, the contractual relationship between Mizuki and the Toad clan has completely disappeared. What are you doing? Gamamaru asked in surprise, staring at Mizuki. Even if it is a contract seal, it only blocks the contract connection and cannot completely break the contract. You actually completely terminated the contract. How did you do it? Mizuki smiled and said, don't you really want to have Heaven's resentment Don't you know the effect of Heaven's resentment Gamamaru immediately figured it out. It sighed and couldn't help but say, I already underestimated TNUU, but I didn't expect that this secret technique is far beyond what I thought before. The blood leaving the body can actually be controlled by TNUU, and it can liquefy and break away from the contract scroll. Summoning blood contract, as the name suggests, requires the blood of ninjas. The ninja presses the blood handprint on the contract scroll, and the blood contract is concluded. Mizuki took the last step and liquefied the blood on the scroll and floated away, and the contract was naturally terminated. This is more thorough and effective than the contract seal. Without the restrictions of the contract, Mizuki can leave whenever he wants, and Gamamaru can no longer use the reverse summoning technique to summon him to Mount Myoboku. Gamamaru, your plan failed again this time, so, how should I repay you? Last time I destroyed Mount Myoboku, how about killing all your descendants this time? Mizuki's voice was full of coldness. The anger in his heart could no longer be suppressed. He never expected that Gamamaru would think of using the reverse summoning technique to deal with him. Almost fell. If he hadn't given Obito's eyes to Naruto earlier, triggered the system's return, and obtained the pupil technique Kamui, he would really be finished today. Last time Izanagi was able to deceive Tamamaru, but this time, Tamamaru would never be fooled again. Mizuki wants revenge. He wanted Tamamaru to have a good memory and let him know that he was not someone to be trifled with. Gamamaru said calmly, Mizuki, don't be arrogant. Don't think that relying on Kamui, you are really invincible. I am a being above the 6 paths. If I really want to deal with you, there is still a way. If you push me hard, I will use all means to kill you even if I lose my life. Advertisement, you don't understand the methods above 6 paths, so I advise you not to make mistakes. Todemaru's words had a hint of fierceness and inner lust. But Mizuki had misgivings. This old toad is hiding too deep, maybe he really has some tricks up his sleeve. It would be bad if it jumps over the wall and affects the Chunin exam. So Mizuki decided to put up with it for the time being. However, it's definitely not possible to just leave like this, you'll have to get some interest. His eyes looked at the table next to Gamamaru's seat, where there were huge wine bottles and wine glasses. Naruto told Mizuki everything that happened at Mount Myoboku, and Mizuki also knew about the effects of this wine. If a ninja takes one sip of this wine, he can immediately achieve immortality. If he drinks 3 sips, he can achieve perfect sage mode. If he drinks 1 pot, he can achieve permanent sage mode. This statement may be a deliberate exaggeration by Gamamaru in order to deceive TNU. And this so-called pot, is it based on the pot on the table, or is it based on the common wine pot that humans use? If it were calculated based on the pot on the table, it would be a bit of a trap. This large wine pot is more than 3 meters high, and it can probably hold 10,000 kilograms of wine. A person can drink no more than 2 liters of water per day. Even if the wine is treated as water, tens of thousands of kilograms of wine will not be finished in 7 or 8 years. Whether this wine is as effective in practicing immortality as Todemaru said, let's take it first. It's best if it works, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't. Even if the effect is not good, I can improve the effect through system refund. He didn't act rashly. The temple is shrouded in a barrier and space ninjutsu cannot be performed. Once he exits the hollow, he cannot re-enter the hollow state. That's it, Gamamaru, if you want the heavenly resentment it's not impossible. Just exchange it for a secret skill of equal value. But in view of your immoral robbery behavior, I think that one secret technique is not enough, and you have to exchange it for the third gate secret technique. Gamamaru agreed without even thinking. Okay, the third gate secret technique is the third gate secret technique. S-level secret techniques, Mount Myoboku, have some in my collection. Mizuki shook his head and smiled. S-level. No, you are mistaken. My heavenly resentment is an SS-level secret technique. SS-level secret technique? Gamamaru frowned. You just made it up. The highest level of ninjutsu in the ninja world is S-level. Where did this SS level come from? Mizuki said. The highest level in the ninja world is S-level, but that doesn't mean there are no higher level ones. Tianwen Yu was born out of the S-level secret technique of Taki Ninja Village. If you learn this technique, you can absorb the vitality of any living creature and gain the ability to live forever. This alone cannot be compared with the S-level secret technique. It's called an SS-level technique, and it's well deserved. Give me the third gate SS-level technique, and I will give you the heavenly resentment Gamamaru shook his head and said, I don't have SS-level techniques, so I can only give you S-level ones at best. Of course this is false. Mount Myoboku has thousands of years of heritage, and the Toad clan has a long history. How could they not order something from the bottom of the box? For example, celestial arts, resurrection talismans, and predicting the future are all beyond the reach of ordinary ninjutsu. But of course Gamamaru wouldn't give Mizuki the bottom of the box stuff. Advertisement, S-level, that's fine. Then I'll suffer a bit. Just give me 30 S-level secret techniques, Mizuki said loudly. Gamamaru said loudly. 30 types? This is impossible. Mount Myoboku, do not have so many S-level secret techniques. I'll give you 10 kinds at most. Mizuki. 10 types are not impossible, but they must include the complete version of Senjutsu and your prophecy technique. This is impossible. Gamamaru refused. I can give you the immortal technique, but the prophecy technique is my innate talent and cannot be taught. If you want it, take it, don't push it down. Mizuki pondered for a moment, nodded and said. Okay, let's do this, 10 S-level secret techniques, plus the complete version of the celestial technique training method. Gamamaru's face was filled with distress, but there was an undetectable smile at the corner of his mouth. It waved its claws, and 11 scrolls flew out from behind and flew in front of Mizuki. You can check it out. Mizuki smiled faintly and said, no hurry, no rush, you first open the temple door and remove the barrier, otherwise I will not dare to exit the hollow state. Gamamaru waved his hand, the barrier was removed, the temple door opened, Mizuki came outside the temple door and took out a scroll. The next moment, he exited the hollow state, threw the scroll in his hand towards Gamamaru, and at the same time sucked the 11 scrolls sent by Gamamaru into the Kamui space. Then he entered the hollow state again. Before entering the hollow, he had already set up the Flying Thunder God spell at his feet. Gamamaru no longer paid attention to Mizuki, but still stared at the scroll he got. The scroll floated in front of it and unfolded automatically. At first glance, he knew that this was the real Heavenly Resentment secret technique, because the content recorded above was exactly the same as what Naruto said. It looked back, but at this moment, a sudden change occurred. The wine bottle on the table suddenly disappeared, replaced by Mizuki who exited the hollow state. Mizuki used apparition to change places with the wine bottle, and the wine bottle had appeared outside the temple gate. Stealing my drink? Gamamaru frowned, but didn't care about Mizuki's actions. Its focus is entirely on the scroll in front of it. It continued to look back, and when it saw halfway through and found that there was a blank space behind it, it completely exploded. Mizuki, you're kidding me. At this time, Mizuki was already outside the temple gate, put the wine bottle into Kamui space, and used Flying Thunder God to dodge to the exit of Mount Myoboku. You can leave Mount Myoboku by passing the underwater tunnel. Mizuki, you can never escape from Mount Myoboku this time. Gamamaru roared loudly in the temple. When Mizuki reached the bottom of the water and was about to leave through the tunnel, he found that the way forward was cut off. Damn it, the old toad has closed the entrance and exit of Mount Myoboku. Mizuki looked ugly. What can we do? Naruto and the others are still in Rock Shinobi Village. If I don't show up for a long time, the 5 great shinobi villages will definitely be unsettled. Once trouble occurs, the children will be in danger. He wasn't worried about Naruto. Naruto had Flying Thunder God and Heavenly Resentment U. Even if he couldn't defeat him, he could still escape easily. But others are at risk. There is also Phoenix Village, which will face serious consequences of being captured and disbanded. We must find a way to leave Mount Myoboku as soon as possible and return to the ninja world. How could he be willing to ruin the family fortune he had finally built up like this? Chapter 134. A fight breaks out in the conference room. Mount Myoboku is a space separate from the ninja world, and there is a wall between it and the ninja world. Flying Thunder God technique cannot directly cross this wall. Can I go out through Kamui space? Kamui space corresponds to real space. Every location in the space corresponds to a location in real space. In other words, through Kamui space, you can reach any place in the ninja world. I don't know if it will work. Mizuki activates Kamui, sucks himself into the Kamui space, and then flies quickly in one direction. Mount Myoboku is so big. As long as I am in the Kamui space and fly out of the range corresponding to Mount Myoboku, I might be able to get out. After flying for a while, and after estimating that the distance traveled was far beyond the boundary of Mount Myoboku, Mizuki stopped and exited the Kamui space. Damn, why not? This is still Mount Myoboku, which means that through Kamui space, there is no way to leave Mount Myoboku. Your sister, Trash Kamui. What can we do now? Mizuki was anxious, but there was nothing he could do for a while. Let's first take a look at the secret arts obtained from Gamamaru, especially the Senjutsu from Mount Myoboku. He entered the Kamui space again, got the scroll, unfolded it, and after reading it, he cursed angrily. Damn old reptile. All 11 scrolls are blank, with nothing recorded on them. I thought that the scrolls taken out from behind it would not be fake, but unexpectedly they were all fake. Hateful. Mizuki looked ugly, as if he had eaten a fly. It's a good time to pour it. The jug of wine I got from Todemaru is the real thing. Mizuki smelled it and realized it was indeed wine. He scooped some out and took a sip, but nothing happened. Damn it, I knew it, it's all a lie to say that you can instantly achieve immortality with just one sip. Think about it, how can it be so easy to practice immortality? If it were really that easy, it wouldn't be the case that so many people have failed in cultivation and turned into stone toads. He cursed and exited the Kamui space, and began to look for toads everywhere, preparing to capture a large number of toads and enter the Kamui space as frog hostages, forcing Todemaru to open the exit of Mount Myoboku. He couldn't deal with Todemaru, but he couldn't catch the other toads yet. But he looked around and didn't see even a toad. Not to mention toads, I didn't even see a single tadpole. Where have all the toads gone? Mizuki frowned. At this time, Tamamaru's voice sounded. Haha, are you disappointed? You want to catch my frog grandson and threaten me? It's a wishful thinking. I have transferred them to other secret spaces long ago. Now Mount Myoboku, besides me, you are the only one. Mizuki was speechless. This old toad is indeed an old monster that has lived for thousands of years, and he is really cunning. This plan failed. Mizuki had to find another way. I heard him say loudly, Gamamaru, open the exit immediately and let me out, otherwise I will destroy all the plants on Mount Myoboku and turn this place into a dead place unsuitable for living creatures. Gamamaru sat in the temple, the old god was there. It didn't care about Mizuki's threat, up to you. If it is destroyed, it will be destroyed. If it is destroyed, I can rebuild it. I have surpassed the 6 paths. Wood-style ninjutsu is nothing more than a ploy to me. Furthermore, the yin escape technique can create a form invisibly, the yang escape technique can inject life into the form, and the combination of yin and yang can create all things. Do I need to be afraid of you? Advertisement. Mizuki narrowed his eyes. This old toad really can't get enough oil and salt. Is there nothing that can threaten it? At this time, Gamamaru said again. It's impossible for you to get out unless you give me half of the remaining content of TNUU. Mizuki raised his eyebrows and said, it's not impossible to give it to you. You open the exit. I will give you the Heavenly Resentment U immediately after I get out. Todemaru. No, give it to me first, and then I'll prescribe it to you. Open it first, and I'll give it to you later. Give it first. Rock Shinobi Village. In the meeting room, the quarrel continues. The Akatsuki organization covets tailed beasts, so 7 tails must not be sent back to Taki Ninja Village. It must stay in our Rock Shinobi Village, so that it is safe. Onoki argued with reason. Fourth Reikage. Why, even if 7 tails is not returned to Taki Shinobi Village, it does not necessarily have to be your Rock Shinobi Village. Among the 5 major countries, Cloud Shinobi Village, are the strongest, and it is most appropriate for 7 tails to belong to us. Onoki sneered. The Kingdom of Thunder is so far away, it's already very difficult for you to bring the 2 tails back. If you bring the 7 tails, you won't be able to effectively protect them. What if you are attacked on the road and the tailed beast is lost? Reikage said loudly. No matter what you do, we are certainly capable of bringing the tailed beast back. Terumi Mei. I won't fight for 7 tails, I only want 3 tails. Baki. 1 tail belongs to Sand Shinobi Village, no one can steal it. At this moment, Shing's expression behind Terumi Mei suddenly changed. Just listen to him shout loudly. There are a large number of rock shinobi gathering here from all directions. As soon as these words came out, everyone's expressions changed drastically. There was only Onoki with a sneer on his face. Onoki, what do you want to do? Do you want to cause public outrage and attract an army of ninjas from 4 villages to attack you in Rock Shinobi Village? Raikage asked loudly. While speaking, he had activated the lightning-style chakra mode, and blue chakra lightning appeared on his body. The next moment, he moved and was in front of Onoki in an instant, hitting Onoki's head with his fist. The battle happened suddenly, but it was expected by everyone. Onoki obviously had bad intentions. He summoned a large number of rock shinobi to gather here, which was definitely planned in advance. Lightning-style lariat. Raikage teleported in front of Onoki and directly enlarged his moves without any mercy. Earth-style. Rock pillar. Kuretsuchi quickly formed a seal. A rock pillar quickly rose up from the ground below, carrying large wild trees, loess, and black soil directly up to several meters. Raikage's arm hit the rock pillar and the rocks flew away. Onoki was condescending and said loudly, "Don't even think about running away today, you all will die here. Once you die, all the 5 great shinobi villages, except for me, Rock Shinobi Village, will be greatly reduced in strength. The era of Rock Shinobi Village unifying the ninja world is coming." Onoki is very ambitious. In this Chunin exam, dealing with Mizuki is his first level goal. His real goal is to deal with the masters of other villages, reduce the strength of other ninja villages, and finally unify the ninja world. "Old man, you want to kill us, you are dreaming," 4th Raikage shouted angrily. "Let's do it together. With us being strong, Rock Shinobi is definitely no match for us. Why don't we kill Onoki, destroy Rock Shinobi Village, and then kill all the Rock Shinobi? At that time, the Kingdom of Earth will be divided up by us." Terumi Mei took off her shadow hat and stood up. The Kingdom of Water is isolated overseas and has no interest in the territory of the Kingdom of Earth. However, even if old man Tsuchikage wants to kill us, I won't sit here and wait to die. She raised her hand to form a seal and shouted, "Lava-style monster dissolving technique." Lava like acid erupted from her mouth and headed straight for Onoki and the others. Earth-style earth ingot wall. Kuretsuchi once again used the earth-style ninjutsu to block Terumi Mei's lava-style. Dust escape original realm peeling technique. Onoki took action, directly amplifying the move. Advertisement: the target is squarely at 4th Mizukage Terumi Mei. Go to hell. A transparent white cube envelops Terumi Mei. Ao quickly reminded. "Mizukage-sama, get out of the way, this technique is very dangerous." "Haha, it's too late." Onoki laughed loudly, and the next moment, the original stripping technique was completed. With a burst of white light, Terumi Mei disappeared. "Mizukage-sama," everyone in Kirigakure exclaimed. Onoki turned to look at Raikage. "Mizukage is dead, and you will be next." "Haha, who said I'm dead?" Terumi Mei's voice sounded, and a figure emerged from the acid on the ground. It was Terumi Mei. "Mizukage-sama, you're not dead, that's great," Chojuro said happily. At this time Shing reminded. "More and more rock shinobi are gathering around us. If this continues, we will be besieged here." Raikage said, "Konoha and Sand Shinobi Village, aren't you going to take action? Rock Shinobi Village has shown its fangs, why are you still hesitating? When Rock Shinobi completely surrounds us, the opportunity will be missed." On the Sand Shinobi side, Baki stood up, and all the Sand Shinobi were also ready to take action. On Konoha's side, Kakashi took out his hands from his pockets and looked solemn. The youthfulness on Guy's face faded away, and his brows became resolute. Only Jiraiya, sitting there with his legs crossed, laughing loudly. Ha ha ha. Jiraiya's laughter attracted everyone's attention. Onoki was scrupulous and couldn't help but ask, "Jiraiya, why are you laughing?" Jiraiya said, "I'm laughing at you. We still haven't concluded whether Mizuki is dead or not, but you actually started fighting yourself. Aren't we gathered here to kill Mizuki?" Onoki said, "Didn't you say that Mizuki is dead after being reverse summoned to Mount Myoboku?" Jiraiya, "You believe me when I say that? You have lived to such an old age, why are you so naive?" You. Anger flashed on Onoki's face. Jiraiya continued, "If Mizuki hadn't died, we would have fought back and forth, but in the end we still wouldn't have gotten anything. Even in order to prevent Mizuki from catching ordinary toads like us as frogs, the big boss even moved us to another secret space. It's so desolate and not fun at all. I really want to go back to Mount Myoboku." Kosuke Toad said with a bitter face, "That Mizuki's ability is too weird. The big boss can't kill him. Now he is imprisoned by the big boss in Mount Myoboku, but there is no other way to deal with him." Jiraiya's words made everyone think. Ninpo, summoning technique. Perhaps, people from the Akatsuki organization have arrived at Phoenix Village and are trying to capture the tailed beasts. Jiraiya nodded and bit his finger. Onoki said, "In that case, let's confirm Mizuki's life and death first. After confirming, we can then make plans. Even if Mizuki dies, isn't there still an Akatsuki organization? If we all lose, the Akatsuki organization will dominate the ninja world. Don't forget, The Akatsuki organization is composed of S-class rebel ninjas from various countries and is extremely powerful. The leader of the Akatsuki organization is said to be a powerful ninja who possesses the Rinnegan just like Mizuki. Now that Mizuki isn't dead, what's the point? All his plans must be based on Mizuki being killed. Jiraiya introduced to everyone. This is Mount Myoboku's liaison frog, Toad Kosuke. Kosuke, let me ask you, was Mizuki killed by the Great Toad Sage? If Mizuki dies and our 5 great ninja villages start fighting each other, what do you think the Akatsuki organization will do? Hey, Master Jiraiya, what do you want from me? They have always wanted to capture the tailed beast, but Mizuki's appearance disrupted their plan. Onoki's expression changed drastically when he heard that Mizuki was not dead. With a bang sound, a small toad with red skin and goggles hanging around its neck appeared. Chapter 135. Yellow Flash reappears. Rock Shinobi is frightened. Can't even the Great Toad Sage defeat Mizuki? Jiraiya frowned. It was clearly stated before that as long as Mizuki is reverse summoned to Mount Myoboku, he will definitely be killed. Now he says he can't be killed. Isn't this a joke? Kosuke Toad nodded. The elder said that Mizuki's life-saving ability is too strong. If you want to kill him, the elder must pay a huge price, and even the elder will die. So, we can't kill Mizuki for the time being. Jiraiya asked. Is the Great Toad Sage confident that Mizuki will be trapped in Mount Myoboku? Toad Kosuke's expression changed. Trapped Mizuki in Mount Myoboku all this time? No, that's absolutely not okay. If we let him stay at Mount Myoboku, how can we, the Toad clan, survive? Kosuke Toad shook his head. This is troublesome. Jiraiya has a headache. San Shinobi Baki asked. In other words, there is nothing we can do against Mizuki? Onoki. It's a pity that he knows space ninjutsu, otherwise my dust release and original realm stripping technique could send him to the Pure Land in one move. Then he showed a kind smile and looked at everyone. Ah ha ha, I was just kidding everyone, don't mind. I, Rock Shinobi Village, will compensate you for the shock caused to you, and I guarantee that you will be satisfied. Well, let's continue discussing the details of the Chunin exam process. What do you think? Fourth Raikage had a hot temper and said in a low voice, Old man, it's too late to settle the matter now. I don't know whether Mizuki will die or not, but I know that you will die today. As soon as he finished speaking, he had already left the place in an instant. Raikage's teleportation technique is the fastest in the ninja world. He uses lightning style to activate the cells in his body, allowing him to move at high speeds. It's incredible speed rivals that have even Namikaze Minato, being as fast as a bolt of blue lightning. When Raikage appeared again, he was already in front of Onoki. Go to hell. The sandbag-sized fist, with blue electric light, hit Onoki's chest directly with huge force. Young man, don't be so hot-tempered, Earth-style Iwaken technique. The two fists collided, causing a strong shockwave. Tsuchikage and Raikage retreated one after another, and neither one took advantage. Young people are really rude and have no respect for the elderly at all. Onoki was smiling, but his actions were not ambiguous at all. After knowing that Mizuki was not dead and that he would not be trapped in Mount Myoboku forever, Onoki was ready to give up his previous plan and even gave in and offered compensation. But he didn't expect that Raikage, a fool, wouldn't buy it at all. So now, there is only one way to go. If that's the case, then you all go to hell. He floated. Dust Escape. Limitation Stripping Technique. Advertisement Dust Escape is a bloodline elimination that transcends the limits of bloodline. It is a fusion of the 3 nature transformations of wind, earth, and fire, and has huge lethality. Dust Escape. The boundary stripping technique is the escape from dust. An upgraded version of the original realm stripping technique, with expanded scope and expanded power. During the 4th level ninja war, Onoki used this move to destroy 25 clones of Uchiha Madara, Susanoo, in one blow. Onoki is using this move now to kill all the people in the 4 villages here. A white luminous object appeared in his hand and he was about to throw it out. Just then, a rock shinobi Anbu rushed in and shouted, Tsuchikage-sama, it's not good, the yellow flash has reappeared, and it has gone crazy. What? Onoki was startled, and the limit stripping technique on his hand was directly lifted. The title Yellow Flash is simply a shame for Rock Shinobi Village. During the 3rd Ninja War, Onoki issued an extremely humiliating battlefield notice. All Rock Shinobi, when encountering a yellow flash on the battlefield, can abandon the mission and run away immediately, and will not be punished after returning to the village. At this moment, not only Onoki was shocked, but everyone else was also shocked. Yellow Flash? 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato? Did Mizuki resurrect him too? 4th Raikage looked solemn. He almost died at the hands of Minato, which left a deep impression on him, and he has always regarded Minato as his strongest opponent. On the night of 9 Tails, Minato died, and Raikage sighed for a long time. Everyone's attention was diverted, but Jiraiya seemed to have guessed something. At the same time, a battle was taking place on a street somewhere outside the village. On one side were dozens of rock shinobi, most of them Chunin, with a few Jonin. On the other side are 6 genin from Phoenix Village. Gaara crossed his arms to his chest, and the sand formed a prototype shield to cover him. Also protected by the sand were Neji, Hinata, Nobita, and Shiro. Naruto was not within the protection range. Outside, Naruto was flexing his muscles. A yellow flash flashed on the street, and wherever it went, rock shinobi screamed and fell to the ground. Naruto didn't kill, but knocked these people down. These rock shinobi are helpless against the flying thunder god technique. Moreover, even if Jonin reacted quickly and hit Naruto's body, Naruto didn't care. The Tianyuan technique gives him powerful vitality. Even if his body is penetrated, he can recover as before in less than 3 seconds. Monster, he is a monster, someone shouted in horror. Several Chunin who lacked perseverance turned and ran away. Even some Jonin looked horrified and had the urge to turn around. Stop! Onoki's voice sounded in the air. Hearing the sound, Naruto stopped, stood in front of Gaara's sand shield, and looked up diagonally upward. I saw Onoki flying in the air, with his hands behind his back, wearing a god robe and a shadow hat with the word, Earth, written on it. This hat is similar to the Hokage hat that third generation used to wear. Oh, I know, you are Tsuchikage, you came just in time. Let me ask you, why did these rock shinobi suddenly attack us? Also, do you know where my master Mizuki has gone? Onoki smiled and said, haha, misunderstanding, this is a misunderstanding. Actually, this is a small test before the exam to test your adaptability. If you cannot pass, you will not be eligible to take the Chunin exam. After Mizuki was taken away by Naitong, Onoki immediately issued an order to kill Genin in Phoenix Village and capture Nine Tails Jinchuriki alive. But when he learned that Mizuki was not dead, and probably wouldn't die, he immediately changed his mind. Advertisement. After living for such a long time, Tsuchikage knows how to survive. Although he has a hot temper, he also knows that he has to be cowardly when he should. It's just that Mizuki's record is too scary and he doesn't dare to bet. Moreover, Naruto's strength also made him understand that there was no hope of getting the Nine Tails Jinchuriki in front of him. Naruto suddenly said, so that's it, he actually believed it. Neji and others were speechless when they saw this. Gaara immediately reminded in a low voice, Naruto, don't believe his words, these rock shinobi clearly want to kill us. He's paralyzing you and then taking the opportunity to sneak up on you. Mizuki-sama is not here, we must be extremely cautious now. Naruto frowned and said, even so, Master Mizuki said before that no matter what, we must pass this Chunin exam. If we just leave like this, we won't be able to explain it until Master comes back. In the previous battle, the reason why Naruto didn't kill him was not only because he was kind-hearted, but Mizuki's words were also the main reason. If he kills someone and completely opposes Rock Shinobi Village, he will no longer be able to take the Chunin exam, and Mizuki's request will not be fulfilled. If you don't kill people, there is still room for change. Naruto whispered. Don't worry, I will ensure your safety. Gaara and others stopped talking after hearing this. Naruto raised his head and asked Onoki, Grandpa Tsuchikage, did we pass the test? Onoki. Passed, please go back to your residence now. The first Chunin exam will begin tomorrow. Please rest assured that a similar episode will not happen again. As for where Hokage Mizuki is, I really don't know. But please rest assured, Feng Ying is so strong, nothing will happen to her. Just prepare for the exam with peace of mind. Naruto nodded. Okay, let's go back. Without warning, Nobita disappeared from the spot with a bang, leaving only a burst of white smoke that quickly dissipated. I saw that it was about to break its claws, and then pressed it to the ground. Ninja technique. Reverse summoning technique. But at this moment, an accident happened suddenly. After Nobita appeared, he didn't say anything, bit his finger to form a seal, and then pressed it to the ground. Ninja. Summoning technique. How is this going? Gaara takes back the sand. Before everyone could react, there was a bang, and Nobita appeared again. Hey, Naruto, why are you on the street and it's such a mess here? What happened? There was another burst of white smoke. When the white smoke dissipated, a figure was revealed. Onoki frowned. What the hell is going on? I am still smart enough to think of this method. With a burst of white smoke, the extraordinary ninja cat named Watermelon was summoned. Bang! Have we reached the ninja world? It's my turn. Well, it's finally out. Onoki narrowed his eyes and said, reverse summoning technique? Nobita's sudden disappearance left Neji and others confused. Chapter 136. Ingenious escape from Mount Myoboku. Mizuki is trapped on Mount Myoboku, and neither Kamui nor the Flying Thunder God can return to the ninja world. Not to mention apparating. He wanted to use the descendants of Toadmaru as frog hostages to threaten Toadmaru, but Toadmaru predicted this and moved all the toads away. After much thought, he finally came up with the reverse summoning technique. The only one that can ignore the isolation of space is the summoning technique. At the end of the fourth ninja world, Kagaya used the Ten no Gochu to bring Team 7 to the origin space. After Kagaya was sealed, Team 7 was unable to leave the kicking space. So Sage of Six Paths summoned the past cages, gathered everyone's chakra, and used the summoning technique to summon the 4 members of Team 7 back to the ninja world. It can be seen that summoning technique can span multiple layers of space. So Mizuki planned to ask Watermelon, the extraordinary ninja cat, to help and summon him away using the reverse summoning technique. Although Tianyuu was used before to invalidate the contract on the contract scroll, fortunately, the summoning contract scroll of the extraordinary ninja cat clan was in Mizuki's storage ring. He re-signed the contract and then summoned the watermelon to the Kamui dimension. Human brat, didn't I tell you not to summon the Great Viscount Watermelon casually, meow? Do you want to be beaten, meow? Also, are the grilled fish ready? Today I want to eat 10. No, 20 fish, meow. Before the white smoke completely dissipated, Watermelon's arrogant voice could be heard. Mizuki asked coldly, "Stupid cat, who are you with?" When Zigwa heard the voice, he was surprised when he found that it was not Nobita. "Why is it you, meow? Where's Nobita, meow?" "Mizuki. Don't be wordy, I have something to ask you today." When Zigwa heard this, he rolled his eyes, flicked his tail, and asked, "So you are asking me for help, meow?" "No problem, meow, but you have to pay dried fish as a reward, meow." This guy talks so meowingly that Mizuki gets a headache. "Just ask Nobita for payment. Whatever you want to eat, just place an order with him directly." Zigwa shook his head. "No, meow. If you ask me for help, meow, you must pay the reward yourself, meow." Mizuki narrowed his eyes. "You really won't help?" He sounded threatening. Zigwa looked into Mizuki's eyes, thinking of what happened before, and immediately shuddered. "I can help you for free, NYA, but you have to defeat me, and you must defeat me with physical skills, NYA. After speaking, he emphasized, "Don't use your strange eyes, meow." Mizuki smiled and said, "Just use taijutsu, right?" Zigwa was overjoyed when Mizuki agreed. It was already happy in its heart. "Haha, meow, this stupid human being has so bad physical skills yet he still dares to agree, meow. I'm going to tease him for 3 hours, meow. I'm going to make him feel ashamed, meow." It did a forward somersault and was above Mizuki's head in an instant. It flipped in the air with a graceful and agile figure. When it reached the top of Mizuki's head, the iron whip-like tail swung down towards Mizuki's head. According to the trajectory, 0.1 seconds later, the tip of the tail will hit the back of Mizuki's head. "You will never be able to dodge this attack, meow." Zigwa was excited. But the next moment, Mizuki tilted his head slightly and easily avoided the tail attack. Watermelon landed and turned around, looking at Mizuki suspiciously. "You actually dodged the attack of my Lord Viscount. It's a coincidence. It must be a coincidence. Next, you won't have such good luck, meow. In the absolute disparity in strength, luck has no effect, meow." As he spoke, it rushed up and scratched Mizuki's face with its claws. Mizuki took half a step back, dodged again, and punched back at the same time. Zigwa clearly saw the trajectory of the punch, but it couldn't avoid it. His reaction speed couldn't keep up with the speed of this punch. This punch hit the side of Zigwa's face, sending him flying sideways. Of course, in this punch, Mizuki only punched lightly. With the blessing of the Golden Rinnegan, his strength has been increased 1,000 times, and even an ordinary punch can kill the cat directly. Meow? How could he meow like this? Why did his reaction speed become so fast? Advertisement, obviously the last time I saw him, he was as slow as an old man. Could it be luck again? Watermelon flying in the air was filled with confusion. When it was about to land, it turned its body and landed smoothly on all 4 legs, without any appearance of embarrassment. Cats are magical animals that follow the cat's feet first principle. No matter how high you fall from or what posture you fall from, you must land on all 4s first. The Super Ninja Cat is also a cat and follows this principle. Mizuki can only envy this kind of body balance ability. Watermelon looked at Mizuki with a serious look on his face. It did not attack rashly again, but circled Mizuki, looking for opportunities. "Haha, don't you dare to take the initiative? In that case, I won't be polite, little kitten, welcome the storm." Mizuki smiled slightly, jumped in front of Zigwa, and punched directly. This punch was aimed at Zigwa's face. Zigwa could see it clearly and had enough time to react. It raised its paw to block the punch, but Mizuki's fist suddenly moved down halfway. Zigwa's eyes widened. He was unexpected. He wanted to react, but it was too late. The next moment, a light fist hit its soft belly. Meow, screamed, and the watermelon flew upside down. This time, because it was in so much pain, it even forgot to adjust its posture and fell to the ground in a heap. When it stood up again, its eyes were full of confusion and solemnity. "Why has your reaction speed become so much faster?" "The reaction speed of our cat clan is several times faster than that of humans, but why do you react faster than a cat?" Obviously the last time it fought Mizuki, Mizuki's movements were still in slow motion in its eyes. This time, it's the other way around. It could see clearly, but it couldn't dodge. Mizuki suddenly changed his moves, and it couldn't react in time. This can only mean one thing. Mizuki's reaction speed is faster than it, and many times faster. Mizuki smiled slightly and did not explain. After the ordinary Rinnegan evolves into the Golden Rinnegan, the nerve reaction speed increases 1,000 times. Such a terrifying improvement made him directly become a Superman. Now, everything he sees is in slow motion. Even if a flying kunai suddenly appeared 1 meter in front of him, he could react quickly and raise his hand to block it. "How about it? Agree to help now," Zigwa said. "Human, you are indeed a powerful cat. You are the first human cat I have ever encountered who can surpass me in physical skills. Tell me, what do you want me to do for you?" Mizuki asked. "Can you reverse the summoning technique and summon Nobita over here?" Zigwa nodded and said, "I can reverse the summoning technique. After saying this, it immediately casts the reverse summoning technique. With a bang sound, Nobita appeared. Master Mizuki and Mr. Zigwa, where are we? Why did I suddenly appear here? Nobita looked confused. Zigwa curled his lips and said with a look of disgust, Kid, it was the Viscount who summoned you here using the reverse summoning technique. Mizuki said, Nobita, I'm looking for you. Listen to me, I am currently trapped on Mount Myoboku and cannot return to the ninja world. I need your help. Wait a while, Zigwa first cancels the reverse summoning technique and lets Nobita go back. After Nobita goes back, he uses the summoning technique to summon Zigwa over, and then Zigwa uses the inverse summoning technique to summon me back to the ninja world. Have you understood? Nobita nodded. I understand, Master. Immediately afterwards, Zigwa lifted the reverse summoning technique, and Nobita disappeared with a bang. Then after a few seconds, the watermelon disappeared with a bang, and was summoned to Rock Shinobi Village by Nobita. Mizuki smiled as he looked at the people and cats leaving one after another. Advertisement soon, he felt the power of space, and disappeared from the place with a bang. When he reappeared, he had returned to Rock Shinobi Village. Hey, Naruto, why are you on the street and it's such a mess here? What happened? It seems like there was a battle just now. Mizuki looked around and asked confused. Nobita was about to explain, but Onoki hurriedly spoke first. Haha, that's all a misunderstanding, a misunderstanding. This is a temporary test conducted by our Rock Shinobi Village before the Chunin exam. The genin from your village has passed the test and can take the Chunin exam tomorrow. Of course Mizuki wouldn't believe his lies. At this time Neji walked up to Mizuki and explained in detail what happened before in a low voice. Looking at Mizuki's increasingly gloomy face, Onoki secretly thought something was wrong. He made a few quick gestures with his hands behind his back. At the same time, he was also ready to take action. As long as Mizuki showed the tendency to attack, he would immediately use Dust Release. Original stripping technique Sneak Attack. Mizuki quickly figured out what was going on, and also knew that Onoki was planning something evil. The anger surged in his heart, but he still suppressed it. The most important thing now is the Chunin exam. If he takes action, indeed, Rock Shinobi Village cannot stop him, and he can even destroy Rock Shinobi Village alone. But the consequence is that the Chunin exam cannot be conducted, and the system's quota of apprentices will not be increased. He doesn't want to wait until next year. He whispered to Neji and others. Let this matter go for now. After Chunin passes the exam, I will settle the score with him. He looked up and said with a smile, since it's a test, it's nothing. As outsiders, we should follow the rules of Rock Shinobi Village after entering Rock Shinobi Village. Onoki breathed a sigh of relief and said with a smile, Master Fengying can understand, I feel relieved, old man. Please go back to your residence with peace of mind. Please rest assured that there will not be any more tests like this. At this time, people from the other 4 villages also arrived. From afar, I heard Raikage shouting, where is the 4th Hokage? Naruto was stunned for a moment and asked, 4th Hokage, my dad? My dad is here too? Onoki was shocked when he heard this. The 4th Hokage is your father. No wonder you can learn the Flying Thunder God technique. Rock Shinobi Village only found out the identity of Naruto Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, but did not know that Naruto was the son of the 4th Hokage. Onoki looked at Naruto and faintly saw another figure in him. Mizuki waved his hand and said, okay, let's go back to our residence first. Halfway through, Mizuki opened the properties bar to check. Open black lens bracket host. Mizuki close black lens bracket, remaining lifespan, 1,800 years. Chakra. Normal chakra 560 Kakashi, immortal chakra 0.01 Kakashi. Chakra reply, 2.5 Kakashi per minute. Chakra control, 99.9999%. Ability parameters. Endurance 10, Physical 10, Illusion 10, Wisdom 8, Strength 10, Speed 10, Precision 10, Seal 10, Total 78. Ninjutsu. Upgraded 3 body technique, Earth Style. Earth Style. Tyrone Gun, Earth Style. Stone Mirror Wall, Sky Stepping Technique, Rasengan, Wind Style. Spiral Shuriken, 6 paths. Yin Yang Rasengan, Secret Technique. Heavenly Resentment U, Invincible Flying Thunder God. Physical Skills. Tai Chi. Illusion, Magic. Narakumi Technique. Sealing Technique. 5 Elements Seal. Bloodline Limit. Left Eye Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Right Eye Golden Rinnegan. Disciple. Uzumaki Naruto, S-Level Qualification. Uchiha Sasuke, S-Level. Haruno Sakura, A-Level. Nobita, C-Level. Rock Lee, A-Level. Yeah, Mizuki couldn't help but let out a gasp. In the Chakra column, when did there appear to be an additional magical skill called Chakra? Senjutsu Chakra 0.01 Kakashi, what's going on? Is it because of the wine? Chapter 137. Effects of Toad Fairy Brew 0.01 card is too little. It's so small that Mizuki won't notice it even if he doesn't look at the attribute bar. Mizuki was very puzzled by the sudden appearance of the Senjutsu Chakra in his body. Ordinary Chakra is a combination of physical energy and mental energy in a ratio of 1 to 1. Chakra requires 3 kinds of energy: physical energy, spiritual energy, and natural energy, which are perfectly combined in a ratio of 1 to 1. The three types of energy are mixed, and there cannot be any mistakes in the proportions, which makes the practice of immortality extremely difficult. Mizuki has never even practiced to sense natural energy, let alone absorb natural energy into his body and synthesize the Ninjutsu Chakra. It must be the wine. Back at his residence, Mizuki took out the wine and took a sip. With the drink in his stomach, he opened the properties bar again to check, and frowned after reading it. No change. This wine is useless. Then why is there an extra 0.01 calories of magic chakra? He couldn't understand. Just when he was about to close the attribute column, he suddenly saw that the chakra column had changed. Senjutsu chakra changed from 0.01 Kakashi to 0.011 Kakashi. Increased. Huh? Mizuki's eyes widened, making sure he saw it right. It's really increased. He continued to observe, and after a while, the data jumped again and became 0.012 Kakashi. Then, every half minute, add 0.001 calories. Until the end, the data rose to 0.02 Kakashi, and it remained unchanged. At this time Mizuki also figured it out. It is indeed the reason for the wine. A sip of wine can increase Kakashi's magic chakra by 0.01. I was too anxious just now. I checked as soon as the wine entered my stomach, but I ignored it. It will take some time for the wine to be absorbed by the body. After finding out that the cause was alcohol, Mizuki felt confident. So he started to drink heavily, one sip after another. After finally gulping down a pound of wine, he couldn't stand it anymore. My face is as red as fire, my brain feels like it's spinning, and my stomach feels uncomfortable like I'm pregnant. Something was wrong with everyone. No, I can't do it anymore. I can't drink anymore. I'm really drunk. This wine has a high alcohol content. The physique of a ninja is not much stronger than that of ordinary people, and chakra cannot cure hangover. It's pretty good to be able to drink a pound. Feeling dizzy, Mizuki lay there for 2 or 3 hours before regaining consciousness. Looking at the attribute column again, the magic chakra reached 0.12 Kakashi. Damn it, you're almost drunk, so you only added 0.1 calories. This efficiency is too low. I only drank 1 pound a day, and the chakra added 0.1 calories, which is really disappointing. And if you drink too much, your brain will be dizzy and you will easily make mistakes. Advertisement. These are not the most important. There is one more thing that needs to be verified. The next moment, he came to an uninhabited forest as Flying Thunder God. Sage Art. Earth Style. Earth Style Wall. He exhausted all the Senjutsu chakra in his body and used it to release this Earth Flow Wall. As soon as he finished speaking, an earth flow wall made of granite rose from the ground, with a width of hundreds of meters, a height of 30 meters, and a width of 10 meters. Even if Master Madara's fire comes, he will collapse and extinguish himself when he sees this stone wall. Is this magic? The improvement is really great? Without sighing too much, Mizuki hurriedly opened the property bar to check. In the chakra column, the magic chakra has become 0, and there is no sign of recovery. Is it really a one-time thing? Mizuki shook his head. The quantity is small, and it cannot be restored after use. It looks like garbage no matter how you look at it. The most important thing is that Mizuki doesn't like drinking, otherwise he would be very happy. It seems that we can only rely on the system. After returning it, it may be of some use. He returns to Rock Shinobi Village and finds Naruto. Naruto, this is the wine I got from Gamamaru. After drinking it, you will get the Senjutsu chakra. It's just that the effect is not as strong as Gamamaru said. Gamamaru said that 1 sip can help you achieve Sage Mode, which is nonsense. Mizuki handed over an ordinary wine bottle, which was already filled with toad wine. Naruto looked at the bottle Mizuki handed over and didn't take it. Master, I am still a child and cannot drink. Besides, among the 3 ninja taboos, ninjas are prohibited from drinking alcohol. Mizuki raised a brow. Don't answer. This is not possible. Naruto, everything has 2 sides. Why is it that among the 3 forbidden ninjas, drinking is not allowed? Because ninja is a high-risk profession, you need to be alert at all times. Even during non-mission periods, you must be prepared to encounter emergency missions at any time. Drinking affects the brain's thinking and can easily cause problems, so ninjas are prohibited from drinking. Naruto nodded, understanding. Mizuki smiled and then said, actually, you understood it wrong. The 3 ninja prohibitions are not against drinking, but against alcoholism. In other words, as long as you don't drink too much and don't drink to the point of dizziness, it doesn't matter. Naruto was confused. Huh? Is that so? Mizuki, of course. I used to be a teacher in ninja school, could what I said be wrong? Stop being wordy and hold the wine. Remember, take a sip every day and don't waste it. Mizuki forced the bottle into Naruto's hand and turned to leave. Naruto was holding the bottle, feeling something was wrong but couldn't put it into words. If you think about it carefully, what Master said makes sense. Ninjas are prohibited from drinking because they are afraid of getting into trouble if they drink too much. So as long as you don't drink too much, you'll be fine. And if you drink this wine, you can get the magic chakra, which will increase your strength. Even if you drink it, my mother won't blame you. Advertisement. He opened the bottle cap and took a sip. As soon as he took it into his mouth, the spicy taste made him want to spit it out immediately. But when he thought of what Mizuki had just said not to waste it, he quickly covered his mouth, gritted his teeth, and swallowed in small gulps. Cough cough cough. The wine flowed down the throat into the abdomen, and wherever it went, it was as uncomfortable as a knife cutting it. Cough cough cough. Naruto coughed violently, choking on tears. Wow, why does it taste so bad? Naruto burst into tears and wanted to throw the bottle away. Mizuki, who hadn't gone far yet, smiled when he heard Naruto's complaint and ignored it. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host grants disciple Uzumaki Naruto a bottle of toad wine, triggering 8,000 times return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, you got a bottle of Toad Fairy Brew. Close black lens bracket. Toad Fairy Brew. Mizuki's heart moved. The name has changed, from wine to fairy wine, which is obviously much higher end. I just don't know what effect this Toad Fairy Brew has. Toad Immortal Brew. Contains powerful magical power. One sip can increase the magical chakra by 80 cards. Close black lens bracket. If you have a basic knowledge of magic, you can immediately achieve Sage Mode by drinking 1 sip, Perfect Sage Mode by drinking 3 sips, and Permanent Sage Mode by drinking 1 bottle. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki's eyes widened. Isn't this the effect that Toad Pill mentioned? Toad Pill's wine can't do it, but the Toad Immortal Brew returned by the system can. If Naruto drinks this bottle of Toad Brew, he can achieve Permanent Sage Mode. Naruto once practiced Senjutsu at Mount Myoboku. Although he was unsuccessful, he had a foundation of Senjutsu, as the compound system said. The top priority is the Chunin exam. This thing comes just in time. Let each of them take a sip and their strength will immediately increase exponentially. Passing the Chunin exam will be a piece of cake. Even if you don't give it to Naruto, it's okay for Mizuki to keep it for himself. Putting down the wine glass, he noticed that Naruto and the others didn't move. Seeing that everyone was still silent, Mizuki said, "This is the mission I give you as the first generation Hokage. 80 calories of chakra is enough to release many ninjutsu." After speaking, he picked up the wine glass in front of him and drank it himself. Anyway, there is still plenty of toad wine, so I can just return it through the system later. This bottle of Toad Fairy Brew can last for about 10 sips. After you drink it, you will understand. Don't worry, it's just 1 sip, it'll be fine. But after thinking about it carefully, Mizuki shook his head and rejected both ideas. Mizuki. What ninja can't drink? I say you can drink it if you can. This wine is not an ordinary wine. It will be of great help to you in the next Chunin exam. 1 gulp is 80 cards of magic chakra, which can be used in combat and the effect is very good. At dinner time, Mizuki took 6 kids to a barbecue restaurant. Everyone takes a bite, and there will be no more. Before the barbecue was served, Mizuki took out a bottle of wine and poured a little for each person. Drink. Why don't you drink? You must complete this mission. Neji looked blank and said, Mizuki-sama, this is wine. We ninjas cannot drive. Chapter 138. Phoenix Village Genin's strength surges and revenge begins. Master, this wine tastes terrible, Naruto complained. When he thought about his previous drinking experience, he turned pale. This task is too difficult, Mizuki said solemnly. This wine is different from the bottle I gave you before. This wine is called Toad Immortal Brew. After drinking it, the immortal magic chakra will appear in your body. After possessing the Senjutsu chakra, the body's strength and speed will be greatly enhanced, and the power of one's own taijutsu, illusion, and ninjutsu will also be doubled. Naruto exclaimed, Isn't that Sage Mode? Mizuki shook his head. No, the magic chakra provided by this Toad Fairy Brew is one-time use and will be gone once it is used up. Moreover, these magic chakras will not appear on the face if they are in the body, and others cannot see it. Completely different from Sage Mode, Naruto was still confused. With his intelligence, he didn't seem to understand. Several other people didn't even understand what Mizuki was talking about. Gaara asked, Mizuki-sama, what is Senjutsu chakra, and what is Sage Mode? Neji and others also looked curious. Mizuki patted Naruto on the shoulder. Explain it to them, just to review what you learned on Mount Myoboku. So, under Naruto's laborious explanation, Neji and others seemed to understand half of what he said. All in all, immortal chakra is a combination of physical energy, mental energy, and natural energy. It is more powerful than ordinary chakra. After drinking this wine, your strength will be greatly improved. Of course, this is only temporary. Once the magic chakra in the body is used up, it will be gone. Neji asked, How much magical chakra can this small glass of wine provide? Mizuki smiled and said, About 80 Kakashi's chakra, it will be enough for you to use for a long time. 80 Kakashi. Neji was stunned. Konoha's Hitaki Kakashi is an elite Jonin and has a lot of chakra. We are all genin. If we suddenly have so much chakra, we won't be overwhelmed, right? Neji was worried. Naruto also said, Yes, Master Mizuki, the Senju chakra is very dangerous. If it cannot be controlled, it will turn to stone. Mizuki waved his hand. Don't worry, the magic chakra provided by this Toad Fairy Brew is absolutely safe. It will not burst you or turn you to stone. Mizuki had consulted the system a long time ago and only dared to give so much after receiving a positive reply. Otherwise, 80 Kakashi's chakra is indeed very dangerous to these genin. Not everyone can withstand so much chakra like Naruto. Okay, now you all know it, so drink it quickly. After saying this, Nobita took the lead in picking up the wine glass and drank it in one gulp. Seeing Nobita's painful expression, the others were a little scared, especially Hinata, whose face turned pale with fright. The wine entered his stomach, and soon Nobita noticed something unusual. Chakra, different chakra, so many, roll your eyes. Neji opened his Byakugan directly and looked into Nobita's body. Advertisement: this kind of chakra is indeed different from ordinary chakra, and such a huge chakra does not leak out at all, as if it is completely controlled. Generally speaking, if this is all chakra, Genin cannot control it at all, and it will definitely leak out. But at this time, the extra magic chakra in Nobita's body was very quiet, with no signs of losing control. As a result, although he had dozens of times more chakra than Jonin in his body, there was nothing abnormal about his appearance. Nobita, how do you feel? Nobita's face was full of surprise. I feel a lot of change, but I can't put it into words. Mizuki said. Squeeze the wine glass in your hand a little harder. Hearing this, Nobita gently exerted force on his hand, only to hear a pop sound and the wine glass shattered. There was even ceramic powder in his hand. My strength has become so great. Nobita's face was filled with surprise. Mizuki nodded and said, yes, with the celestial magic chakra in your body, before it is used up, you are equivalent to entering a continuous sage mode. In this mode, your strength and speed are greatly improved. The others saw it and without any further hesitation, they picked up the wine glasses and drank. After drinking a glass of wine, their expressions change. It becomes ugly. The alcohol content of this wine is too high. When you drink it, the spiciness is really obvious and it is very pungent. Hinata was about to cry. She wanted to vomit but couldn't, so she could only cover her mouth with her hands and forcefully swallow. Others are having a hard time, too. The calmest ones were Neji and Gaara, but they also frowned. Naruto was also about to drink, but when the glass came to his mouth, Mizuki held him down. Naruto, your situation is different. You have practiced sage. If you drink this glass of wine, under the guidance of the sage chakra, your affinity for the power of nature will quickly increase, and you will master sage mode. So calm down a little later and don't be too showy. Naruto nodded and said, I understand, master, and then drank the wine. Mizuki has been paying attention to Naruto. After Naruto drank the wine, he was fine at first, but soon changed. Mizuki frowned. He found that Naruto's heartbeat and breathing became extremely light at this time. Just like a dead person, he also noticed that there seemed to be some kind of change in the surrounding air, but he couldn't explain the specifics. But he knew that there must be natural forces gathering around him. Mizuki didn't stop Naruto immediately. He had a strong curiosity about the power of nature. I took out the Liushin toilet water, opened the lid and took a sip. My mental power immediately increased sixfold. A perspective like the mind's eye appears, and everything around him is seen by Mizuki. At this time, he saw clearly that a strange chi was continuously gathering from all around, converging towards Naruto's body. After these chi enter Naruto's body, they combine with Naruto's chakra to form a new chakra. This new chakra Mizuki is familiar with and is exactly the Senju chakra. In addition, he can also feel that these chi contain terrifying energy, which is higher than the energy contained in chakra. Is this natural energy? Mizuki wondered. Advertisement? He has used Liushin toilet water many times, and every time he releases his mental energy, he can see the energy, but he didn't know that these were natural energies before. This time with Naruto's help, he understood what natural energy was. By the way, with my current terrifying mental power, can I control the natural energy to enter my body and synthesize the magical chakra? Thinking of this, he immediately tried it. The mental power wraps around a ray of natural energy and wants to pull it back into the body. I never thought that this attempt would be successful. Mizuki was excited. He continued to control this natural energy, and then separated a little ordinary chakra from his body to combine the two. But this time it failed. More regular chakra. He wanted to continue trying, but the effect of Liushin toilet water had faded, and his soaring mental power immediately dropped again. Liushin toilet water only lasts for 10 seconds. Although my attempt to synthesize the magic chakra just now failed, it gave me an idea for practicing sage mode. The magical chakra obtained by drinking Toad Fairy brew is only temporary. Only by cultivating sage mode can the magical chakra flow endlessly. At this point, Naruto has absorbed enough natural energy and is about to enter sage mode. Mizuki hurriedly shouted, Naruto, stop. Upon hearing this shout, Naruto immediately exited that state, and the natural energy absorbed into his body was instantly dispersed. Ah, master, I'm sorry. After I drank the wine just now, I immediately felt that I became very close to the natural energy around me, and I began to absorb it unconsciously. Mizuki patted his shoulder and said, it's okay. All 6 people have been promoted, and their strength can be said to have doubled. This time, Mizuki was completely relieved. With their current strength, if they can't pass the Chunin exam, they will be useless. One night passed, and the next morning, the Chunin exam officially began. The first Rin test, like Konoha, ostensibly tests the basic theory of ninja, but in fact it tests the ninja's intelligence search ability. Examiners always pay attention to the examination room, and any despicable cheating methods are not allowed. For example, copying someone else's work with your head tilted. Of the 6 people in Phoenix Village, Neji and Hinata have Byakugan, Nobita has X-ray glasses, Gaara has sand eyes, Naruto has telescope technique, and Shiro relies on ice escape to create mirrors to reflect other people's answers. These methods are not very clever, at least, the examiner on the stage can see clearly. However, the examiner will not fail them. Soon, the first exam was over. Of the more than 200 genin, less than 1/3 passed the exam. Then comes the second game, the battle for the Earth Coiling Axis. The exam location is in the rocky jungle west of Rock Shinobi Village. Before entering the rocky jungle, Naruto and others were recalling Mizuki's words. Just remember, in the second exam, if you encounter genin from Rock Shinobi Village, you will kill him immediately, don't be polite. What Onoki did made Mizuki angry. Because of the Chunin exam, he didn't have a seizure, but that didn't mean he was easy to talk to. The retaliation officially begins in the second session of the Chunin exam. Chapter 139. Three benevolent people, it is difficult to practice immortality. A rocky jungle is not a real jungle. Stone pillars rise from the ground like giant trees growing toward the sky. Therefore, this place was named the Rock Jungle. These stone pillars range from 4 to 5 meters short to dozens of meters high. Seen from a distance, they appear to be of varying heights and densely packed. What's even stranger is that there is geothermal heat here, creating many hot springs. The hot spring water evaporates to form fog, and the fog is lingering. Although it is not thick, it blocks the view to a large extent. If people enter here, it will be like entering a maze, and it is difficult to distinguish the direction. Water style. 1,000 killings of water soaring. In the mist, a low shout sounded, followed by several screams. When I looked closer, I saw 3 Rock Shinobi Village genin, covered in thousands of books, lying on the ground unconscious. There were 3 people standing beside him, Naruto, Shiro, and Hinata. Brother Bai, are they all okay? Naruto asked. Bai nodded. Don't worry, they're just unconscious and their lives are not in danger. Hinata lowered her head and whispered. Although I don't want to kill anyone, Naruto-kun, Haku-kun. Mizuki-sama told us not to hold back when we meet Rock Shinobi. Isn't it bad if we are like this now? If Mizuki-sama finds out, will he blame us for being too merciful? My father taught me before that as a ninja, you must never be merciful to your enemies. Her voice was very soft and timid. Naruto smiled awkwardly and said, it should be. It's okay, killing people, isn't it good? They are just contestants taking the exam. They have no grudge against us. Just knock them unconscious and take away the scrolls. Bai-ya said. Don't worry, Mizuki-sama is also very kind and won't blame us. He saved those Jinchuriki from death. The 3 of them all smiled after a discussion. I feel completely relieved about whether or not to kill Rock Shinobi. Naruto stepped forward and fumbled around and found a scroll. What a pity. It turned out to be the scroll of heaven. Just like our scroll, we have to find someone else to capture it. Hinata, look to see if there is anyone else nearby. Hinata activated her Byakugan and quickly spotted the others. There's a group of sand shinobi over there, less than a kilometer away. Having determined their target, the 3 of them left and quickly disappeared into the mist. After the 3 people left, Mizuki emerged from the ground, looked at the direction in which the 3 people left, shook his head and sighed. Hey, these 3, each one is more kind than the other. Naruto is the reincarnation of Ashura and has a kind nature. Until the finale of the anime, Naruto never killed anyone. Even Kakuzu was killed by Kakashi's last hit. The same goes for Shiro, he never kills people, and even if he doesn't kill anyone, there's nothing he can do about it. Hinata's weak character also stems from the kindness in her heart. To be honest, these 3 are really not suitable to be ninjas. Forget it, let them be. Mizuki was helpless. The situation is easy to change, but the nature is hard to change. With their character, it is difficult to change. After looking at the 3 unconscious Rock Shinobi on the ground, Mizuki turned and left. Although Mizuki is currently very hostile to Rock Shinobi Village, they're just 3 genin brats, so there is no need to vent his anger on them. Advertisement, Naruto and the others, I don't need to worry about anything. Mizuki also went to see Gaara. Compared to the 3 here, Gaara and the others are not so kind. Neji is a troubled boy, he kills people without mercy, 8 trigrams 64 palms, 1 palm per child. Nobita was born an orphan and was originally kind-hearted, but after being kidnapped by Danzo, he clearly realized the cruelty of the ninja world, and the kindness in his heart completely shrank. Gaara, in particular, is very murderous. Not only Rock Shinobi, he also kills genin from other villages when he meets them. Mizuki was originally worried about Nobita, but now that Nobita has the magic chakra in his body and his strength has skyrocketed, it is no longer a big problem. Next, try absorbing the power of nature. The magic chakra provided by Toad Fairy Brew is only a one-time use after all. The safest thing is to master Sage Mode. The practice of Sage Mode is indeed difficult, but the principle is very simple. Completely integrated into nature, entering absolute silence from the outside to the inside, just like death. In this way, the self and the outside world will be perfectly integrated naturally, and the power of nature will gather together. It is too difficult to achieve this level of integration into nature. Mount Myoboku uses toad oil to help ninjas absorb the power of nature. And it is very dangerous. If you are not careful, your body will turn into frogs or even become petrified due to excessive absorption of natural power. Although Mizuki is not worried about petrification, he does not have toad oil. Although I forgot to bring the toad oil from Mount Myoboku, I used Liushan toilet water yesterday and I could clearly see the natural energy. I believe that with the help of Liushan floral water and toad fairy brew, I will be able to cultivate sage mode. Mizuki used Flying Thunder God and came to a quiet forest. He took out Liushan toilet water, opened the lid and smelled it. In an instant, his whole brain was refreshed and his thinking became extremely clear. His mental power surged sixfold, even overflowing from his body. Although he had his eyes closed, he could see the tiny things around him with the mental power overflowing from his body. Dust in the air, bacteria in the soil under your feet, fluff on bacteria. It's like arriving in another world. He collected his mind and focused on natural energy. He wrapped a ray of natural energy with his mental power and pulled it back into his body. He also controls some ordinary chakra in the body and merges with this ray of natural energy. When the two come into contact, they naturally merge together. But the next moment, Mizuki frowned, failed again. This time there was too much normal chakra, and the new fused chakra was very unstable and dissipated automatically. Undeterred, he once again controlled a ray of natural energy to enter his body and continued to try. In just 10 seconds, Mizuki tried 4 times, but none of them were successful. It's really difficult. Mizuki opened his eyes and breathed a sigh of relief. The effect of Liushan toilet water has ended and I can only try again tomorrow. Although the effect of Liushan toilet water is strong, it only lasts for 10 seconds each time, which is really too short. Mizuki felt that it would be best to permanently improve mental power. This temporary improvement is still not enough. When Naruto and Nobita become Chunin, they can recruit more disciples and then find a way to get something that can permanently enhance their spiritual power. Advertisement: toilet water won't work. You have to find something else, preferably medicine. After a short period of training, Mizuki returned to Rock Shinobi Village. In the next 3 days, he would use Liushan toilet water every day to try to absorb natural energy. But I don't know why, but it doesn't work every time. I always feel like something is wrong, but I can't quite pinpoint it. The rest of the time, he just wandered around, trying the food in Rock Shinobi Village and looking at the exotic scenery. Chunin didn't plan to cause trouble until the exam was over. Even if someone wants to cause trouble, he will take action decisively. In short, I must ensure that this Chunin exam is successfully completed. Of course, if you don't make trouble, you won't make trouble, but it is still necessary to make some preparations before making trouble. For example, he took advantage of these 3 days to explore the remaining 5 tails Jinchuriki in Rock Shinobi Village. First generation Hokage-sama, the second round of the Chunin exam, the battle for the Earth Coiling Axis has ended. Lord Tsuchikage asked me to come and inform you to go to the hot spring valley in the center of the rocky jungle to watch the semifinals together. Mizuki was wandering the streets when he received a notification from Rock Shinobi. Okay, I understand, lead the way, hot spring valley, in the middle of the rocky jungle. At this time, 15 people gathered together and came here. All 6 from Phoenix Village arrived. A group of people arrived in Konoha, namely Xiao Li, Tianshan, and an unknown sidekick. There is also only one group of people in Cloud Shinobi Village, the 3 disciples of Killer Bee, Samyi, Amii, and Karui. Rock Shinobi Village was completely wiped out, which made Onoki, a Tsuchikage, almost explode with anger. In the Chunin exam organized by Rock Shinobi Village, the entire Rock Shinobi army was wiped out. I believe that within a few days, the entire ninja world will know about this. Onoki's face was lost to his grandma's house. San Shinobi Village and Kirigakure were also wiped out, but with Rock Shinobi Village in front, they were much less stressed. San Shinobi leads the team. Baki has no expression on his face and directly leads people back to the land of wind. Terumi Mei smiled and did not lead anyone away like Baki, showing the atmosphere of a village. What surprised everyone the most was that a group of people from a little-known small village called Janin Village managed to get here. While everyone was surprised that this village was named after Shion, they were also curious about where this village came from. Even the genin from San Shinobi Village and Kirigakure were eliminated. 3 contestants from this shinobi village reached the semifinals. This gave rise to various speculations in everyone's mind. When Mizuki came to the hot spring valley and saw the 3 genin in the Senin village, he raised an eyebrow. The 3 people in Shion Ninja Village were all familiar to him. Suigetsu, Jugo, and that woman, I forgot her name, but I remember that she mastered the crystal-style bloodline limit and is not weak. So, this Senin village is the previous Sound Ninja village? So, is Yakushi Kabuto here too? Mizuki turned around and saw a strange middle-aged man in the direction where the Senin villagers were standing. Although he looks strange, Mizuki feels that this person is Yakushi Kabuto in disguise. Orochimaru returned to Konoha and handed over the Sound Ninja village to Yakushi Kabuto. I haven't heard from Yakushi Kabuto for a long time, but I didn't expect to meet him here. Mizuki just glanced at the other person and looked away. He frowned slightly, and he noticed an unusual aura on Yakushi Kabuto. Has he mastered the Ryuchi Cave Senjutsu? Chapter 140. Tensigen, the Mighty 8 Trigrams Air Palm. The semifinals of the Chunin exam will be held in a one-on-one battle, and the arena is the hot spring pool in this valley. The winner advances to participate in the finals half a month later, the loser withdraws and cannot be promoted to Chunin. Although Onoki was unhappy, as the host, he still stood up and explained the rules. There are 15 of you in total. Now, does anyone give up? He asked, as was customary. As a result, none of the 15 people chose to give up. Since no one gives up, one of the 15 people will get a bye and become the lucky one to directly qualify for the finals. Now let's randomly draw the byes. Soon, the extraction results came out. Uzumaki Naruto from Phoenix Village in Bird Country got a bye in the semifinals. When the result was announced, Naruto said happily, "Hey, I'm so lucky." Hinata blushed and whispered, "Naruto-kun, congratulations, you have entered the finals directly." Onoki then announced, "Next, let the competition begin." After saying that, he turned and left. Rock Shinobi Village John Nakato stood up as the host and referee of this exam. The competition list is also out. The first match, Phoenix Village Hyuga Neji vs Phoenix Village Hyuga Hinata. Mizuki narrowed his eyes. Unexpectedly, in the first scene, two people from their own village consumed each other. In this case, one person will be eliminated, but he didn't say anything. After all, Fenghuang Village has the largest number of people, and the probability of encountering them is also very high, so he can't find anything unreasonable. Neji and Hinata, the eliminated one must be Hinata. Hinata's strength is quite different from Neji's, and it is impossible to defeat Neji. The two came on stage and stood facing each other. Neji suddenly said, "Miss Hinata, we are called rivals again. Same as last time in Konoha, I will give you another piece of advice. Give up. You are not suitable to be a ninja." Hinata's face suddenly turned pale. Neji continued, "You are too kind. You long for peace and avoid disputes. You always cater to other people's ideas. Moreover, you have no confidence in yourself and always have an inferiority complex. So, just like last time, I still think that you can just be a genin." This is the second time Hinata has heard these words from Neji. Hinata lowered her head, but the pale complexion gradually faded away and returned to normal. She raised her head with a firm look on her face. "Brother Neji, you are right. I am kind. I have low self-esteem. I have no self-confidence, and I am not suitable to be a ninja. But I wanted to change myself like that, so when Mizuki-sama found me, I made up my mind to make a change. I left Konoha, left Hyuga, this is my first step." Neji's face remained unchanged and he said coldly, "It's useless. It's difficult to change a person's character. The inferiority and cowardice engraved in your bones will stay with you for life." Hinata shook her head. "No, brother Neji, you are wrong. People can change." She looked back towards the shore, her eyes on Naruto. Naruto-kun, he used to be a weakling. No matter how hard he practiced, he was weak. But now Naruto-kun is very strong. He never gave up. His unyielding spirit made me understand that as long as I don't give up, everything is possible. So, I will never give up. Hinata's voice became firm and loud. On the shore, Naruto heard Hinata's words and shouted loudly, "Hinata, well said. As long as you don't give up, anything is possible." A slight blush appeared on Hinata's face, and her hands and fingers tangled together unconsciously. After gathering herself, she raised her head and said, "Brother Neji, I know that I am not as strong as you. Advertisement, last time in Konoha, when I faced you, I gave up. This time, I want to fight you. Although I know I will lose, I want to change." As she finished speaking, she spread her legs slightly, raised her hands, and opened her eyes, ready to fight. Last time in Konoha, she met Neji in the semifinals. Without Naruto's encouragement, she was finally forced to give up by Neji's words. This time, it's different. Even if Naruto wasn't around, she still wouldn't give up. Seeing Hinata getting ready to fight, a smile appeared on Neji's face. "Sister Hinata, congratulations on your transformation. You already have the basic conditions to become a ninja, so come and fight, use all your strength and attack as much as you like." The next moment, the two Hyugas fought together. 8 trigrams 32 palms. 8 trigrams 32 palms. Under the feet of the two of them, an 8 trigrams figure appeared that only they could see. The two of them started with the same hand, similar movements, one punch for you, one palm for me, a pure physical competition. Although each move does not seem to be very powerful, the turbulent hot spring water under the two men's feet is surging with layers of waves, indicating that the competition between the two is not as simple as it seems on the surface. There were many spectators on the shore, and some looked solemn, while others showed contempt for the competition in the field. In the direction of Cloud Shinobi, Fourth Raikage looked at the eyes of the two people on the field and clenched his fists. It's a waste of natural resources. How can the Byakugan be used in battle? The real function of the Byakugan is strategic. It's a pity that eyes like this don't belong to me. From Cloud Shinobi Village. Over at the Sennin Village, Kaiden Suigetsu said with a nonchalant expression, "Is this the Hyuga clan of Konoha? It doesn't look very good either." Others also have their own opinions. In the field, after 32 slaps between the two, no one could fight with the other. Hinata panted, exerting considerable physical exertion. In comparison, Neji's breathing was stable and he was clearly superior. "Sister Hinata, be careful, 8 trigrams 64 palms." Hinata was not to be outdone. "Brother Neji, you are just as careful." She jumped back a few steps, raised her right palm to her chest, aimed at Neji, and pushed forward. 8 trigrams air palm. The Hyuga clan's taijutsu is not only effective at close range, but 8 trigrams air palm is a long-range attack method. The principle of 8 trigrams air palm is to shoot chakra shock waves from the palm of your hand to attack the target from a long distance. At this time, the two were more than 10 meters apart, and Neji's 8 trigrams 64 palms could not attack Hinata in a short period of time. However, Hinata's 8 trigrams air palm can ignore this distance and attack Neji directly. Upon seeing this, Neji immediately changed his tactics. Tai Chi. Revolving Heaven. Neji stood still, but a protective shield made of chakra appeared around him. This is his own Tai Chi Revolving Heaven based on Tai Chi theory and improvements on the 8 trigrams palms Revolving Heaven. Compared with 8 trigrams palms Revolving Heaven, Tai Chi Revolving Heaven does not require body rotation and consumes significantly less chakra. Moreover, because Byakugan has a blind spot behind him, 8 trigrams palms Revolving Heaven has a weakness. But there is no weakness in Tai Chi Revolving Heaven, because Tai Chi Revolving Heaven does not need to rely on Byakugan. This is the true absolute defense. The chakra shockwave from 8 trigrams air palm hit Revolving Heaven and dissipated immediately. Is this Tai Chi Revolving Heaven created by Brother Neji? Even the 8 trigrams air palm can't penetrate it, Hinata exclaimed. She didn't give up, pumping out palm after palm, using the 8 trigrams air palm in succession. It's useless. Your attacks can't break through my Tai Chi Revolving Heaven defense. Show all your strength. Hinata turned her head and looked towards Mizuki on the shore. When Mizuki nodded, she turned back. Advertisement, Brother Neji, be careful. The next moment, her aura changed, and even her white eyes changed. The originally pure white pupils turned into strange eyes with blue outer ring, black center, and white at the junction of blue and black. She exuded a powerful aura, which even turned into substance and spread to all directions. The surrounding water repels all around, as if being blown by a strong wind. Such a strong aura, this. Is this genin? Look at her eyes, why did they become like this? Didn't she have white eyes? Why did she turn blue? Everyone across from Hinata saw the change in her eyes, but no one knew what kind of eyes they were. Mizuki frowned. Hinata's back was turned to him, so he couldn't see what happened to Hinata's eyes. So, he transformed and reached the other side, where he finally saw clearly. How? How could this happen? Mizuki was also shocked. He recognized these eyes instantly, Byakugan's ultimate form, Tensigen. With chakra injected into the Byakugan, it can evolve into Tensigen. Mizuki was so surprised. The emergence of Tensigen requires pure Byakugan and Otsutsuki bloodline. In the anime, Otsutsuki Tenari activated Tensigen after taking Hinata's Byakugan. But the Senjutsu chakra is not of the Otsutsuki bloodline. Brother Neji, be careful, 8 trigrams air palm. Hinata once again played 8 trigrams air palm. The power of this palm is completely different from the previous ones. It is a giant palm made of chakra, which is 3 to 4 meters high. This palm pushed towards Neji. Wherever it went, a wide water tank several meters deep appeared in the water, which could not be healed for a long time. Good guy, Tathagata palm, Mizuki was speechless. The faces of the spectators on the shore also changed drastically. This, what kind of ninjutsu is this? Revolving Heaven is like a deflated ball, shrinking by 2/3. What kind of ninjutsu is this? Mizuki flashed into the air, caught Neji, and brought him back to the shore. Earth style. Earth flow wall. A 3-meter thick earth flow wall erected from the shore, but before the giant palm could reach it, the earth flow wall was directly impacted and disintegrated by the oncoming momentum. Hinata also didn't expect that this palm was so powerful. Block it. The person standing opposite was none other than the people from Rock Shinobi Village. The next moment, the giant palm hit Revolving Heaven. Upon closer inspection, it was revealed that Neji had been seriously injured and his internal organs were broken. Neji also realized that something was wrong. Seeing that it was too late to avoid it, he immediately mobilized the magic chakra to strengthen Tai Chi. The intensity of Revolving Heaven. Even Revolving Heaven could not completely block the power of that palm. Although Revolving Heaven was not completely shattered, Neji was injured. Mizuki injected life force into him, allowing him to recover quickly from his injuries. Her expression changed drastically and she shouted, "Brother Neji, get out of the way." But obviously, some were too late. At the same time, the giant palm, after knocking Neji away, still did not stop, but continued to fly forward, pushing towards the shore without slowing down at all. Oh my god, such a thick earth flow wall can't stop it. Poof. Neji flew out, vomiting blood as he flew.